And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world. And I really appreciate every single one of you. And I hope that everybody has been doing well. We will be talking about a couple different things as usual. And I'll be talking about this new Bryan Kohberger theory that has been floating around, also doing the game and the other things at the same time, and then going to different articles and stuff as we usually do. Alright. So, we'll see about the news and other topics as they appear. And here we go. So, hello everybody. It is the Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's been having a great day, great week so far, because it is now the end of the week. And I think that this week went by really fast. We had a nice time streaming and doing the things that we, with the trials and the different streams and stuff we have been doing quite well with it. So, now what I'll be doing is we will be doing a little introduction. So, there's a theory about Bryan Kohberger being an incel, being inspired by Elliot Rogers, who is a mass murderer who was an incel that deleted quite a few people because of his incel rage, which means that they can't get a girlfriend and they lash out. And there's correlations between the two different attacks that occurred. We'll get into that. Also, with the trials today, there is the Karina Cooper trial, and the jury was taking a little while. Oh, hello there, Rebecca. It is great to see you. Shout out to you, Rebecca. Hope you and Leon are doing well. So that one, I was around in the chat, but I was doing some other things, so I didn't exactly see the part where it ended. So I believe they likely went home for the day, but I technically would not know for certain. I don't think they had a verdict. I believe they'll be going back on Monday. But as I said, there could have been a verdict or something, and I just missed it. And I'm going to see right now if anything happened with that. And it looks like they found her guilty of murder. Alright. So Karina Cooper was found guilty of first-degree murder in the deletion of her husband. Oh, congratulations, Rebecca. I'm glad to hear that. So with the Cooper trial, they found her guilty of first-degree murder, Karina Cooper. All right. And I thought she was guilty. That's exactly what I thought about it too. And because if the jury didn't come up with something, they would have to come back on Monday. So it is good they came with a verdict. And I'm going to see about reading what this says about it. If it freezes up, I'll just read it through the phone. Alright, so the jury finds Karina Cooper guilty of first-degree murder and the deletion of her husband. Okay. I'm just reading this because I'm just learning about it. Because I was there at the trial today, but at some point I had a call and I didn't get back to the chat, and I was just going to look at it later. Right. So Iowa, Karina Cooper has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the shooting and deletion of her husband, Ryan Cooper. He was deleted in June 2021. Prosecutors say that Karina shot him twice in the face and tear her home one night, and they also argue that she planned murder of the Houston danker, the man that she admitted stand to having an affair with. Karina tried to pin the crime on Danker, testifying that Thursday after the affair she felt guilty and tried to break things off, and she and Danker made threats towards Ryan and her family. On Friday, during the closing arguments, the state prosecutor argued that Snapchat discussions between Karina and Danker provided that wasn't the case. Multiple references from Karina of wanting Ryan deleted and two telling on each other they loved one another. Prosecutors argue that either Karina pulled the trigger or Danker did, but said that it didn't matter. Either way, she would be guilty of first degree murder for the planning it and going through with it. Defense said Friday, "Hello, Frog. It's good to see you, buddy." Defense said on Friday that in the closing arguments, the words and thought presented on Snapchat message did not equate to a crime. Lawyer Nicole Watt said that there was no evidence presented showing Karina deleted her husband. The jury ultimately sided with the prosecution, turning into the verdict in just under 4 hours. Cooper faces a mandatory life in prison sentence without the chance of parole. A sentencing date has not been set. Alright, so I was watching that today, and that part of the jury finding her guilty, I did not catch that because I was in a call. But still, I'm glad that they found her guilty because she in my opinion, certainly did it. She was certainly guilty. Absolutely. Also, I want to say that with one of the things we'll be talking about is, the Bryan Kohberger theory, as we'll be talking about throughout the stream, is basically that the theory's going around that he was an incel, and I'll explain to you what that is. Y'all know what it is probably, but I'm going to tell you what it is through a definition of it. And as I said, throughout the stream we'll be talking about this theory, but here we go for the people that are here now. Incel is a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, typically associated with views that they are hostile toward women and men who are sexually active. So that is what an incel is. And with the incels, there's a theory that Kohberger was an incel, and he was trying to, emulate what Elliot Rogers did. There's all kinds of videos of him, and he was real cliche, and he envied people that were in relationships, and he was sitting there, and he was planning on doing some bad things in his car, and all he had to do, like what other streamers were talking about, is all he had to do was just go out and talk to people. That's all he had to do. So, like what G and I were talking about, how he may have felt he couldn't get a girlfriend or they were mean to him. So now there's more light. The theory that he was trying to imitate him. So, and this Elliot Rogers happened more recently than the other people from, like Bundy was back in the 70s. This person is more recent. It was in 2014 it occurred. A little bit background on Elliot Rogers. I can explain who that is. Elliot Roger. So, Elliot Oliver Robertson Roger was a British American mass murderer who is known for the deletion of 6 people and injuring 14 others during a 2014 Isle Vista killings. Murders he committed, his self-deletion and his manifesto have been cited as an early influence on the incel and manosphere subculture. Yeah, and he would sit in his car, and he was an incel hero. And in my opinion, he's similar to Eric Harris of the Columbine attacks also. So those are just some, what we'll be discussing that throughout the stream. And that is basically the new theory about Kohberger, and I'm glad that Karina was found guilty, and it seems like there's not going to be any trials that I know of that are going to be out there for right now. So basically that is about that is the update about the trials. I don't know of any trials coming up on Monday, but I'll certainly be doing the live stream. Another thing is that I know about that, but I don't know for certain if there are other trials that will be coming up. We'll have to wait and see. And we have this other. So those are the two things with Karina Cooper being found guilty of first-degree murder, and that is the theory on Kohberger that was mentioning. Right. So what we're going to do now is see about starting the game for a little bit and talk more about these things as we continue. Okay. All right. As we have different people come through. Okay. Hello, Sharon. It's great to see you. Welcome to the chat. I see you. I see you change your picture. It looks pretty cool. All right. See if the game is going to be launching. And Sharon, I hope that you. Although, as I said, I saw you earlier at the trial chat, and she says hello to Rebecca and Frog. I hope that everybody, hope you had, a good evening so far. Yeah. So basically, with Cooper, it is good that she was found guilty earlier, and I wasn't in the chat, but I am glad to know that because I left it at a point to do something, but basically, I'm glad to see that she was found guilty of that. Clearly was guilty. That was an easy verdict. I certainly think that she did it. It's completely obvious. It's a no-brainer. Oh, Sharon, I'm glad you received it and you loved it. Okay, I'm glad that you love your new hoodie. Thank you for purchasing it. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, because and basically, it's so cool. I never really thought that I would be doing that, but it's cool or being here. But I'm glad that the pathway has gone to this. Right. So, I'm glad it's awesome. I'm glad it's awesome. Yeah, it's always nice when because those products I really put a lot into the design and making sure that everything would go well. As I remember when Rebecca was, and a few other people were requesting it, I want to make sure that I'd get something that would, make sure it to be designed right and would be shipped out and all that, it would go well. And I'm glad that I put the effort into doing that, so we have something that works pretty cool. Yeah, so that's very cool. Thanks. All right. So, and Sharon, the theories about Bryan Kohberger is that he is an incel. Like, I was talking to G one time about Bryan Kohberger, and we basically were saying he was something like that, but not in those exact words. So that's new information that's coming out about him, where like somebody that feels that they can't get a girlfriend or relationship, so they become like a troll. They become like a hater. Like the people that we meet online that are not nice sometimes. That's basically like what he was to an extreme, and you may have drawn inspiration from Elliot Rodger, who killed quite a few people and terrorized a college, and he made these videos in his car. So they're thinking that he got inspiration from him. That's a new theory that's going around about him. So I think it makes sense because there's going to be new television series about it. Sharon says BK looks like one. Yeah, he does. That's true. Sharon said that my pick is my front door. Hello. Oh, okay. That's really cool. I didn't know what it was exactly. It was, to me, it looked something like a, I don't know, it looked like nature or like some greenery with some sky. That's what it looks like from like my perspective. I think I could kind of zoom into it, and I could zoom into it. I think. Yeah, I still see the greenery. I'm glad it looks that big, right? So that's nice. Yeah, it's just, to me, it does look like a door, but it could also be greenery with a sky drop. Oh, stained glass. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. And I zoomed into it. It's a very nice picture, though. A very nice picture of your door. Okay. And I think that. Oh yes, a mountain. Yes. Okay, so stain. Oh yeah, stained glass. Yeah, those are very cool. Those are very cool windows. I mean, doors. My door right there, it has a diamond shaped see-through glass, kind of like what you have. It's a design. It's like a very old door from a very long time ago. And also the woman who taught Kohberger about serial killers, she said she was feeling that she may have been responsible, inspiring him to do that. So it does seem, besides him pleading guilty, that there's evidence that he was trying to, you know, do that. That he really was intending to do those kind of things. And I'm sure different things went on where he thought that he had to take a plea deal. Yeah, middle is clear in small spots. Oh, okay. I'm glad to know. Yes, Aaron. Aaron, it's great to see you. And Aaron, I totally agree with you. I'm glad that she was found guilty. She clearly did it. So we're reading before about Katrina Cooper, but I mean, like, I was reading it because I wanted to put that out there. Yeah. So basically, yeah, she was found guilty. She was found, and I'm glad she was. It was another day of justice. I'll be live much earlier on Monday if they don't have a trial on. They got me. All right. Yeah, shout out to you, Aaron. It is always amazing to see you. Always so kind. I'm sharing a cell with some other pirates that got locked in here. Aaron, I have no idea if there's. Just Tom Farrell was asking if there would be any on Monday. So I don't know, but yeah, I guess the dentist one's on Monday. I guess the dentist one is on Monday, but I don't. I just don't know for sure. But if you saw that it's a dentist one, then it's a dentist one. And I'm not even sure like who the defendant is in that one, but I'll be interested to see it when it comes out. Okay. Yeah, those are some other pirates are locked in there with me. Oh, you saw Alien Tape. Ah, yeah, Alien Tape is the best. It helps tape up UFO windows when they don't when they get cracked and stuff. Yeah, it's very valuable in the spaceship. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't rely on you. Okay, Aaron. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I was talking to my friend earlier, and I went into my woods and talked to him. It was a good conversation. We're talking about YouTube and my time on the platform, and the, recent stuff that we've been talking about. And I told him about Karina Cooper. And I told him about the different things that we're doing. It's someone I knew from school, so it was a good conversation. Yeah, and I am very glad for the trials because it's good to see justice being served. And I do think that the theories on Bryan Kohberger are accurate about him being an incel and that he was actually inspired by Elliot Rodger, who deleted all those people in 2014. Certainly, I think that it's probably true, because that seems more similar crime than the other ones, and he even kind of like had one of his screen names to something similar that was a code that had to do with him. And that is a good parallel because a lot of people compare him to Bundy, but the thing is that that's probably accurate. But also the people more recently, he was probably inspiring to be like too. They both like attacked these popular people, or they perceived as something popular. And I think a lot of trolls that we encounter online are incels, and they're from Temu and Sheen. Yeah, so today was an obvious verdict, and I'm glad that the jury got it right because it was a no-brainer that she did that. It'll be interesting to see how the dentist one goes. And like sometimes with Elliot Rodger, he'll be in his car, and he would have been in his car, and he does like his cringe videos about what he was going to do, and then he would go and rant about people that were doing things he wasn't doing. But all he had to do was do what he was doing. Oh, and Aaron said my daughter calls things Timu too. Ah, well, that's awesome. She said that I'm the Timu Sabrina Carpenter when I sing. Rude. Oh, yeah, that's rude. Scared. The new one is Sheen. Sheen and Timu are both of them. Yeah. So the Timu sayings are spreading around. And we have Corey Richardson's has 26 more felony charges added to her name, to her murder charge. Okay, I have to go back now. I must have been groggy. Okay, yeah, Corey is sunk. I hope the judge changes his mind, and we watch that trial if no more delays. Oh, to be fair, I'm definitely not a good singer or a dancer, but it doesn't stop me. Oh yeah, exactly. You do what you love to do, whatever that is, and that's the most important thing. And also, I'm sure that she gets entertainment from it. Yeah. We have alien singers on the alien spaceship, and I think that makes it unique. Okay, so I'm locked up in this cell with this other dude. All right, so this is the other cell where those I was just in that cell, and now I'm in this one with this dude. Yeah, yeah, definitely like the pirate movie. They had it looking like this. Now the incels have a complete online communities everywhere, like, and they talk about these things amongst themselves. And then you have like a couple of people that will do crazy attacks, like what you see. So I wouldn't, put it past them for a second to, be like that. Aaron, what is your favorite song to sing? I'm just curious. Sometimes I like singing along the different songs and things that I hear. I do invent my own music too, with the sound effects. Yeah, so like as long as you're having fun and all, I think it's cool. And yeah, the Timu saying has spread everywhere. Yeah, yeah. I know, I know. Like sometimes like people ask me like what my favorite movie is or something, and I have to like really think about it. Like sometimes a couple of them, but I know I have to narrow it down to one, and I get scared, scared, scared. Yeah, because it's good to like sing along to things, and I think that it's good for the human mind, especially, to adapt and relax and retain information. Yeah, laughing at yourself is good. That's something that I learned. And Aaron says, "You guys can make fun of me, but my fave karaoke song is Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton and Kiki. But my favorite song of all time is More Than a Feeling by Boston." That's cool. That's cool. It's always good to laugh at yourself, and I think the Timu thing is the ultimate roast. And I basically started a whole, like, all over social media, people are saying the Timu thing now. And I think that the trial chats and the other streams are very good at spreading this type of information because when you're around 100,000 people in one day, I mean, 100,000 people know the information. So I think it's very good to see that how it would spread everywhere. Yeah, so yeah, Aaron, I think that is a pretty cool taste. I know about those artists, and I think they're very good. All right, so that is the other direction. Yeah, I'm the alien trendsetter. Yeah, and the new thing is Timu. For Timu is Sheen. So Sheen is something similar to Timu. It's kind of like a similar thing, and Miranda told me about it, and then I'm just like, okay, we'll add that to it, and now it's Timu Sheen for a lot of things. Yeah, so I'm glad to start those trends, and I use the Timu thing a lot during the. I use that thing a lot during the trial, the YSL trial, because me and the partners, as they say, as the cool kids say, me and the partners were talking about. We were like roasting the different people on the stand. They were roasting Miss Love and roasting everybody, and it was just a comical trial to watch. So what we did next was after we did that, I was in that trial, and we constantly go over and over like these roasts, and I came up with a Timu roast because my grandpa always bought stuff from Timu, and he bought me some things from Timu, and I'm like, Timu's a perfect comeback because it's like something like was cheaply made. So yeah, that's something that I did in the YSL trial, and then it like spread everywhere. Zoe says, "Hi everyone. More than a feeling, Aaron is my all-time favorite too. I blast in the car at least 3 times a week." Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Aaron. Aaron and Zoe. That's very cool, Zoe. And Zoe, it's great to see you, and also the lovely Anna. I am glad to see you here as well. Welcome to our Friyay hangout. Okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. That is like because you have to understand, there's a lot of people that have more in common with you than you think. Like, there's like if you have a certain trend or a certain type of idea that you have, like a song you like, there's other people that would like that. And in different time periods, there are certain songs and things that were trendy. Oh, Sharon, I love music too. Oh, you're on break. Okay. Shout out to the animals. I'm glad you help out the animals. I was feeding my cat Bubbles last night, and he likes to get on. He likes to lay on me and relax, and I like he likes to be watched while he eats. So I go and like I watch him while he eats and pet him. Then we get together and hang out. Yeah. So today I was watching. Oh, thank you, dear Anna. Thank you. And yes, earlier while I was watching the trial, I was talking to my buddies from school about like YouTube and stuff, and we're having a good time. And I was in the woods, like in the backwoods, and a lot of the elderberry trees are doing pretty well. The elderberry trees are doing good. They're blooming. Lots of oh, look, they're all fighting each other right now. Huh. Okay, and Zoe. So Aaron says, Zoe, that's so crazy. None of my friends really, but except for me forcing in my car in the house, I am not alone. Facts. Sweet Caroline is one. Okay. Oh, I got them immediately. Do I eat elderberries? Yeah, I like elderberries. Now with elderberry, you have to have it as a supple like for an elderberry it has to be cooked first to eat it. Like I remember my buddy was telling me that back in the day that it has to be cooked. You know, it has to be cooked first because it's kind of toxic. Oh, you've seen it in catalogs. Oh, okay. Yeah. It has to be cooked first. Now, one time I was being a goofy alien a couple years ago, and I remember my friend telling me about the elderberries, and I'm like, I knew they were probably slightly toxic, but I was just like, I wasn't like, I remember him saying that, but wasn't like completely sure, and then I saw somewhere on Google that it's not toxic, and then I'm like, I was gonna try a few of them, you know, why not? And then I was like, then I was reading the fine print, and that it's not toxic when it's cooked. I'm like, oh, doy. Nothing, nothing really happened to me. I could have gotten like a little bit sick maybe, but nothing really happened to me because I drink so much water. It flushed anything out my system, but it's better to cook it first. I don't recommend eating them raw. You have to cook them first. They have to be cooked and prepared correctly to be eaten. Okay, so those are kind of like they have some cyanide traces. So, like I said, I was okay, but I still, would recommend to not do something like that. And I was like, oh dear. Like when somebody gets poisoned, the best thing to do is to drink gallons of water because it flushes out your system. But I've had elderberry supplements. They're very good for your health. And hawthorn berry is good for your heart. And Aaron says, that's two I don't know of. I'll search later. Nah, that was immediate. Zapped. The Stranger by Billy Joel and the Pigs on the Wing Part 2 by Pink Floyd. Oh, I love Pink Floyd. That's a very good band. You like Froggy. Shout out to Froggy. Oh, like one time I was exploring under my house. I was exploring under my house one time and I found this. I picked up a board and I found a frog chilling. And I just put the board back down. And Anna was saying, now wives having affairs will delete husbands by serving elderberries. I scared. And I'll put the disclaimer. So, people don't go poison people. It was for educational purposes only. All right, there we go. So, yeah. Yeah, so with the... And I have tons of them. Also, apples have some cyanide in it. Okay. Aaron, you will be the Pink Floyd one is very short. Oh, okay. Yeah, you go do that, Aaron. That's facts. Regina, thank you for stopping by to say hi. I hope that you are having a good week, and thank you for telling us hello. I appreciate it. I remember when I was in Kentucky with my mom's aunt and uncle, which are also my aunt and uncle too. We were exploring the. I was exploring like the hills and stuff of Kentucky. And that was very good. And what my uncle and I did, my uncle told me about Pink Floyd because I I knew about different rock stars and stuff, and I was saying like, he was like, tell me about some music the young kids listen to, and hello Moki, it's great to see you. Welcome. I remember she was, because when I was listening to, I was like, oh, a lot of the young kids listen to Pink Floyd. I mean, listen to Lil Wayne, and he said, "Oh, Lil Wayne, well, he was going to show me something else." Which, at first, I wasn't like a big fan of rap because I saw like the violence going on, but then later, like when I listened to the rap, they spoke about sometimes they'll put like wise words in it, and like, oh, okay, it's just people expressing themselves. It wasn't like, I didn't like take it too seriously, but basically, yeah, he showed me the Pink Floyd album of Dark Side of the Moon. And that's my favorite album by Pink Floyd. I remember I was in Kentucky and he sat me down. I sat on his computer and I listened to the entire album. And I really enjoy. I love. It's very trippy. It reminds you of the Vietnam War, personally. And yeah, I love Dark Side of the Moon. And how was it? I hate cough meds. Hello, Caraville and Moki. Great to see both of you. Oh, you had a new elderberry cough medicine. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Okay, is this sword gonna work? Yes, I agree. And the brick in the wall is good. Okay. Oh, it's Dookie time. All right. There's a rabbit beot. What time is it? It's Dookie time. All right. Okay, so we're going to attack this thing right here. Okay. Oh, Gloria. Scared. 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 Ah. That's cool, chat. Yeah, shout out to Gloria. That's great. Shout out to chat. I'm glad that y'all are here. And as I said, I'm glad to see that the verdict in Karina Cooper trial, I totally agree with it. She's very guilty. She certainly did it. I totally agree with that. There's a lot of banging around outside for some reason. There must be some Timu Sheen movements. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate you all being here, hanging out with me. It's a nice Friday evening. So I saw the nice elderberry trees are blooming elderberries. There's a whole bunch of them. Share an age, but a number, friend. Yeah, yeah. Age is just a number. Yeah. So basically, with Pink Floyd, I think that it was very revolutionary and trippy. Like when you listen to certain music and stuff, it could be very trippy, and it could just induce a certain emotions in you. Age by number. I came back after the verdict and read and saw her cry, but not so much drama I expected. Well, what I did was I was on the phone. I was on the phone with my friend, my buddy from school, and I was watching the trial, and at some point I went out into the woods in my yard, and that's where I saw the elderberry trees. And that is like what I was doing, but I'm glad that she was found guilty. I thought she'd be found guilty. So I didn't like see the whole thing, like where like the end part, but I was around. Oh, you made it back just in time for the verdict. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Moki. And I knew that the verdict would probably be read, or they'll be come to a verdict, but I wanted to take some time out there. You know, it wasn't a big deal, and for me. But I'm glad that it was the right verdict. You missed the verdict and watch a replay. All right. Shout out to Abby. I hope that she's doing okay. If she's lurking, or if she will come in a little bit, if we love you. Hope you're doing well, Abby. All right. So, I'm joked out. Aaron identifies as an immature 76-year-old. Scared. Oh, she was hideous. She looked like the Temu backrooms. It was certainly going to get the Temu backrooms. Where I think once and for all the tears were real, haha, and she was surprised at her verdict. What a fool. But yeah, because I said she looked like a old, saggy, worn out chew toy from Temu, from the back rooms of Temu. She looks like a decrepit corpse that was past its due date. Yeah, completely disgusting. It just a lot of these women these days. It seems to be women so far that are deleting their husbands like this is just ridiculous. We better have a new trial Monday, and one is not in for jury selection. I'm going to pout. Oh yeah, I mean, because I don't know. Like, there's allegedly the dentist trial is coming up. I don't really know if there's been any trials or not. I went back and Israel tear her a new one, huh? On my end, it looks like it's doing okay. It's not buffering right now. But thank you, Sharon, for the information. Attempt to honor killing starts Monday. Okay, thank you. Gloria, it was you that I was talking to about it at Branch. Ah. Okay. Okay, it's probably going to be a jury selection. Okay. Going through the cave. Don't think it through. You don't think so, though. I think that Karina Cooper looks like saggy, dried out Play-Doh. She's going to be in jail. She's going to be rotting with no bail. Or will not work if they try to do a plea. She is a blood-sucking flea. Alright. So, okay, Sharon. I'm glad to hear. Karina Cooper was shocked. Was too narcissistic to see she was wrong and that she would be caught. She's narcissistic. Not as clever as she thought. Okay. I like the different information on the trials. It wasn't queued on Court TV. I haven't seen it on Law and Crime yet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that if LC, if CTV does it, LC will probably do it too. Oh, look at this right here. All these zombies right here. Let's go and do that. Ah, I deleted them all instantly. Scared. The corner deputy girlfriend's hubby. They try to have her in trial, and I think, but he pled, so he's getting a sentence Monday. Okay, thank you. Yeah, chat. Does anyone know when the sheriff judge trial will be? Okay. Abby says, just popping in to say, hope y'all have a good night and have a great stream, Alien. Good to see you. Hope you all take care and have amazing weekends. Hi, girls. GTSYL. And I'm out. Absolutely but eofed of a day. Okay. Okay, Abby. Thank you. Have a very good night. Hope everything gets better for you. Thank you so much for telling us what's going on. Take care. All right, this is a very dark cave where you probably have people like Bryan Kohberger and Elliot Rodger in this type of cave. It's like where they'd be lurking in because they can't get a girlfriend. All right, we're going to do this. Okay, that's good. That and Zoe says she was thinking about her. Okay, that's good. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so yeah, I think we got some bat shield. Ah, we got Bat Dookie. Bat Dookie Partey. I thought it was weird that her lawyer didn't comfort her. Oh yeah, that is a good question. Wow, BF of the day sounds pretty bad. Scared. All right, so yeah, what's it about? Her lawyer bawled immediately. Yeah, I think that that would be a strange thing, and sometimes we see unexpected things like that happen in trials. I thought Mr. Israel did a great job with his prosecution. A 12-year-old in Vegas who killed her dad is going to juvie. Wow. Wow. Oh yeah, yeah, Sharon, yeah. Hey, going up this cliff. Let's see. There will be signs. Yeah, especially someone that's that young doing those things. I think that it's extremely cringe for that. For them to do that. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's some young people that do some evil things. Oh, Gloria, I'm glad that you picked up on the signs. Yes, sometimes there's warning signs when something is about to happen like that. Yeah, definitely. I just plowed through them immediately. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Sharon. Right. Speaking in code, crack it open, you'll have a geode. Yes, her alien antennas are up. Facts. We have aliens in the chat speaking in cryptic, which we love on this channel. Oh, they're speaking in cryptic alien language from our planets, from our galaxy far, far away. That is what we do. Facts. Hello, G. It's great to see you. My chocolate frozen, my chocolate frozen hot ice cream sundae. Oh. And 25 grand per Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful. Well, well, G. I had an amazing day today. It was nice seeing the verdict in that trial. Although I didn't see the verdict actually, I found out about it later. But I had a good time talking to one of my friends, and I got to see the woods, and I saw the trial chat today. I had an excellent day today. Thank you. I want to see lug. See lug. Next Friday is 666 and Joyce's birthday. Oh, thank you, Moki. It'll throw a party for him. Dessert. Let's see. Yeah, birthday party aliens on Friday. Yes. Okay. Friday night, cousin's B day too. Oh, happy birthday to your cousin. Okay. Joyce came here a couple of days ago. Oh, you have to lure her here. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's a shocker. Yeah. Right. Moki said, I think the Reed trial negatively bummed Joyce out a bit, and she wanted to take a break and focus on work and family. We were joking about needing to touch. Okay. Grass. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get this one. G, you are the cream of barley, which was served in the first class in Titanic. That's what you are, G. And thank you for your compliment from before. One of the one of the best first class meals on Titanic. And G says, I don't watch Trial except the last 2 nights. AM, I saw her cross only case in what was the first video when I logged on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, let me watch what a snippy biatch. Scared. Because I think she thought she was convincing. Oh, that's good, Moki. That's good. I'm going to have to check that out. If I haven't already done it. That's good. Yeah, because Planet Serpo, that is certainly a very important topic in the UFO community. Yes, you made it alive. And say yes after 4:30. We do well negative health stuff. Yes, exactly. Precisely, G. Yes. Yes, and also Aaron said she was hoping people forgot. And she thought she was convincing to stand. Ah, okay. Oh, I'm glad that you like it. Oh, it was an X Live. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't see it. But I'm glad you got to see it. That was one of the first things we talked about here with you on board. I love talking about Planet Serpo. Good memories. Yeah, I've never, like, when I was a kid, Joe and I never heard about Planet Serpo before. I'm glad that you told me about it, though. That's right, yeah. This is a cave in one of those islands. This is a mine where they mine for gold and silver and diamonds and stuff. This is where it's a cave where they did that at. G said, but if someone says to me, honey, I'm coming to your house, and I say go, what else can they mean if they don't want you deleting my hubby wouldn't say, why are you coming over here? LOL. Exactly. Exactly. It's just common sense. You know, like when something is there, it's there. Karina was weird one for sure. Scary looking. Scared. 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 And Aaron said, don't be going to a trial of logic. There's no fun in that. I had a very interesting video link for y'all, but I don't want it to be upset anyone. It's a little boy who's in a hospital after skateboarding accidental, and he's out of it and seeing Jesus and his dead father. Moki, please, feel free to drop the link in the chat. I saw a video. One of my other friends sent a video about that to me. Yeah, you could drop the link if you'd like. And for those that are interested, can look at it if they'd like. And Grandpa, yeah. It reminds me of Heaven is for Real, where Colton saw something like that. Very interesting indeed, yes. Like in Heaven is for Real, they show like a girl that painted Jesus, and she saw him. Yeah, so there's like even a picture of him I could show y'all, too. Oh, thank you, Moki, for the link. I'll save it. And Zoe says, we just got on an alert and emergencies coming in. Pray for those poor, helpless animals. Amen. Abby, yes, keep yourself safe. I'm praying for you, and good night. Love all. God is good. Amen. God is good all the time. Amen. Okay, text, edit, and we're going to make new, and we're going to call it... Yeah, so thank you, Moki, for sending us that and telling us about that. It's very important to me about the faith in the Lord. and about near-death experiences. I value them very much. Loki said that Commons said that he was on ketamine for pain, and people were then debating if it opens you up to different frequencies or hallucinations. Well, Moki, it can do that. That's possible. Now, and I'm not a doctor, psychologist, or whatever, but yes, it can do that. Now, it's also possible that, remember how we're talking about that two things are true at the same time? Like with a retrial? So, two things can be true at the same time. It's possible that he was in a certain spiritual state because of the injury in the medicine, where he was able to see those things in those other realms that he wouldn't be able to see otherwise without him being in a near-death experience or being under those influences. So I think both could be true at the same time. But I do believe in spirituality and God, and I do believe that he did see those things. You know, why not? You know, as a religious person. But it doesn't mean that both things aren't true at the same time. But yeah, a lot of people are going to debate about the religious stuff. There are people that were atheists that saw Jesus, and that they saw people that saw hell. People have seen heaven across the board. Like, people that are religious have, you know, seen those things. So I do believe in that realm, and there's many people that have had near-death experiences that have seen that across the board. But obviously, right. And Aaron says, "Okay, friends, gonna hang out with my kid before bed. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you all, okay, Aaron, take care of your kid. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. FYI, the fake alien invasion is supposed to be happening in March. Okay, Moki, thank you." The nurse and the mom are laughing at first because they just think that he's out of it, but then it changes. And is he on morphine or something? He can't see his mom. They're saying the dreaming, but his eyes are open. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's see. Catching up with chat. The kid saw his sis that passed away at birth and he didn't even know about. Yeah, that was Colton. Yeah. Yeah, that was Colton. And also Colton saw his grandfather when he was a kid, when he was a young man. Because everybody looks like in their 20s in heaven. See you later, Aaron. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, I do believe in these supernatural things. Okay. And also going to go over here. Let's see. Okay, bookmark that. Okay, here we go. Yes, and exactly. Exactly. Also, all right, it's coming back. All right, let's see. I believe I'm back now. Here I am. All right, so I had to switch out the internet settings. The other internet part got kind of knocked out for a moment, but here I am. I'm back. Thank you all for your patience. It's not storming at the moment. It is. What's going on at the moment was that I had to switch the internet thing. Okay. All right. So yeah, the the pirate has been running a lot of miles. Yes, indeed. And G said, "You can't." He's saying so many things. It's wild. What an amazing emotional time. OMG, the way he's asking for his dad and saying that he's so beautiful and strong. And yes, oh, that took me 2 minutes, and I thought he was like TikTok thing. Parents always make their kid say thing, but 2 minutes into it, it's so real. OMG says my mom works so hard to provide and say so mean, gut wrenching. Jesus is so beautiful. Yes, Jesus is the greatest. Yes, amen. Overwhelmed, thank you. And Moki says in the comments, the nurse said it's very common to see that it's people on ketamine, and now you can debate as to why. And I just got done frozen here. Is this divine intervention or a sign? Alien? Is it storming or something? Yeah. So I got the internet back. I had to switch it to another one because the other internet setting was overloaded. Or it could be a sign. Amen. I know wild, but I noticed it was for a minute that he thinks his mom is up there saying that there, and he changes. You see a mom, Jesus, right? And if y'all want to blow my miracle, please don't slam me, guys. But there's a Kodiatic on YouTube talks about the D in spirit box. Robin Williams was one real mind blower, not for everyone I know. Okay, thank you. And ketamine mine is unnecessarily for pain. 100 other things they could use specifically for kids. All right, yeah, so definitely. I think that it is absolutely a sign that I do believe, my opinion, that he did see Jesus and his different relatives. I do believe that because I do believe in heaven. I do believe heaven is for real. And I do believe in Jesus, very strongly. So, yeah, I definitely think that it is a very good video for people to see. Yes, G. Earlier a friend of mine sent it to me, so I did see parts of it. Yes. All right. So, and I don't really mind even reacting to it. Possibly. Well, let's see about this. I'm not even reacting to it. It's okay. Let's see. All right, let's go here. Okay. Okay. So, all right, G. So G says, I do to I do too, as you well know about Christ, but I am not sure what the scripture says about God allowing us to go to heaven and return to type stuff. Very curious. Well, gee, there's many near-death experiences where, yeah, there's a debate in the Christian community about going to heaven or where people go and stuff. Because there's some people saying the Bible says that when you pass away, you go into like a sleep state, and the heaven thing comes later. So, to explain about this, I think, in my opinion, I'm not saying those aren't true. I think that there could be. Right. I know that the scriptures can say something, but things can be. And yes, you can come back and tell me what you think. And but no, there's many people that have near-death experiences that have seen Jesus, that have seen their relatives or different people. Yeah, like I don't really like people can misinterpret the scripture all the time, but if people see something, they see something, and there's too many people that have had near-death experiences where they see these supernatural things. And there's people that work in hospitals that they've seen people that were about to go to hell, for instance, that it was they're real hot and that they're going to a dark place, and they went to that, they're going to go to the underworld. Other people that were in hospitals, they've said that have seen Jesus, have seen God, have seen, have divine intervention of some kind. So no, I do believe there's a heaven, and you got to remember when Jesus was on the cross, he said that this day you'll be with me in paradise. So if there wasn't a heaven for the person to go to, he wouldn't have said that. And I do believe that scripture is important, and that's the main thing to focus on. Because I do believe, like, the Catholic Church, for instance, did not focus on the Bible enough, and they went by rituals and stuff, but that doesn't mean that the rituals are wrong, and to go by scripture alone, technically. So I think that both of them are two extremes, and I think, basically, there could be misinterpretations about certain things, because I do believe that there is a heaven that people are at, and there is a hell. But there are some Christians that say that, according to the Bible, that when you die, you go into a sleep state and there's not a heaven. I used to believe that. I was Catholic, but then I believed in like the sola scriptura thing, where people are not in heaven or hell yet. That hasn't happened. But then I believe that God has helped me understand that, through God's help, I understand that just because something wasn't in the scripture of the Bible, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily false, and things can be taken out of context. So I do believe that it's true what the scripture says, but also that there is people in heaven and hell now. I do believe that those places exist now. Even in Revelations, it talks about people that have been in the saints in heaven. It does talk about that as well. So, and also logically, if people are saying that they're seeing these near-death experiences, there has to be some truth to it, in my opinion. So I'm not going to be like dogmatic on either way, because before I thought that, like what the Bible is saying, that people are not in heaven or hell yet, but then I changed later and went back to thinking there is a heaven and a hell. Right, it is my opinion, of course. Y'all just do whatever y'all feel is best. And here's what someone says. Some sources indicate the Bible doesn't explicitly mention the detailed near-death experiences as they are commonly described today. Accounts of individuals having a glimpse of the afterlife and returning to life. However, the Bible doesn't recount instances of people who were near death. But it doesn't deny that it's true or false. Right. And G says, or even if died and were subsequently resurrected by the power of God. So Scripture says people can recount it but were resurrected, and not that they stayed on earth and told a story. How long ago was the Bible written, though? Probably wasn't thought of at the time. Exactly, Anna. Right. And G said, so if you see that, it's fine, but then no longer here, you are resurrected. Can't hide to be the Bible and everything, you'll be crippled. Exactly. And Anna, in the beginning of the Bible, it says that these words are never going to change with time, for today and tomorrow, and always for those who believe, of course. Yes, amen. That's also true. And G says, oh, and Anna, yes, we all are flawed and aren't fantastic. That's not healthy to go ballistic and nuts. I agree, yes. And it's kind of like a limbo purgatory. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, it's something like that. But technically, God says if you don't believe any part of the scripture, then you have to not believe in any of it. I can't imagine God saying to believe in parts of what I see and through the rest of it out loud. Oh, well, right? And I mean, if some parts, then don't believe at all, but that's not discussing religion. We don't need to piss people off, LMAO. And Anna says, I'm not freaking out stating that I think I believe in God, but I don't use it to control the mechanisms. I fully agree, Anna. All right. Right, people can have their own interpretation. I do believe that it's okay for people to have different interpretations of the religion, and there's different factions of Christianity, and there's thousands of Protestant denominations, because everybody has their own opinions and interpretations on things. So I think that it doesn't really matter in the end, but it's important to discuss and talk about. But yes, I do believe, in my opinion, there's some sort of state where people are in that we call heaven, but there is a new heaven and a new earth that will come, as although Muslims have different interpretations of Jesus, the Muslims and Christians both believe that Jesus will return and that he will establish a kingdom on earth. We both believe in that. And basically, yeah, he will come and Jesus will set everything straight. But I do believe that there is a heaven now and there is a hell for, bad people. But it may not be there may be something later. There will be the lake of fire and brimstone that will happen later. So hell will fall into that place and they'll be incinerated in the lake of fire. And there will be a new kingdom, a new heaven, new earth that will come according to Christianity. And also Muslims believe this as well, about Jesus' return and earth becoming a different place. So yeah, that will happen. There'll be 1,000-year reign of Jesus, and then Satan will come back out of the bottomless pit, according to the Bible, and they'll have another battle. So when Jesus returns, and then I believe the Jews will accept Jesus as their Messiah then, because they'll see it was actually him. He'll make world peace. Then Satan's thrown in the bottomless pit. Then he comes back out of the bottomless pit and tries to go for another try. And then he gets cast into the lake of fire and brimstone with the other fallen people and the angels and the evil aliens and stuff. The aliens that are evil. Other evil things will be in the lake of fire and brimstone. And then Jesus will have a new earth, a new heaven that will never pass away, and there'll be no more death, according to Christianity. So, yes, but I do believe, in my opinion, that it's possible that there are near-death experiences that are false, that are made up, possibly. Yes. I do believe that there's likely fake accounts out there. But I do believe, I'm not going to fully deny that there are people with near-death experiences that have experienced this stuff. And that there's a heaven and a hell. I'm not going to deny that. I believe that that's there. Oh, hello, Moki. Great to see you. Okay, G, understood. Anna says, don't get why wanting to know what happens freaks people out so much. Yeah, because people are afraid of the unknown. And G said, Anna, we are family in here. Honey, don't worry. There is no right or wrong. And G says, it doesn't freak anyone out. And some people don't want to know. And I'm back. And Anna says, exactly. I think that everyone thinks about it now and then. So yeah, everyone has their own interpretations about how it happens, and that's why I think humans are very great with their free will. We all can see things differently, and I think thinking different is important, as I always like to say. So I think that with the near-death experiences, there could be, there are truth to some, maybe not others. In my opinion, I do think that there is an afterlife, and a belief in God is important, and it is. But people have Protestantism, which I believe Protestantism has very good things in it, with them focusing on Scripture and Bible, because a lot of times the Catholics may not know everything about what the Bible says. So I think that when I was growing up, I was Catholic, then I became Protestant. All of my family says you can't undo being a Catholic, which is fine. That's okay. And then I became Protestant, and I was strictly what the Protestants believe, like a Puritan or something. And then I feel God helped me later understand things in the Catholic Church and how it works better, and how the other apostolic churches worked. There was basically the ancient churches, the original ones, and if it was false, God failed to preserve his church, which he said that he would preserve his church. So but Protestantism has very good things in it, where the Bible itself is very important, because rituals and stuff are good and important, and I don't believe they're false, but you have to have the Bible too. So my theory in Christianity is that there's a yin and a yang between Protestantism and the Catholic and Orthodox churches at the same time. So I believe that both those things as a Christian will be good at once. And other religions are fine too, because there's other interpretations that people have, and it's okay, because humans will have their own interpretations, and we may not all agree. There is Arianism, which was this type of form of Christianity that believed that he was a prophet, another type of Christianity that believed he was God. And so there's different people have different interpretations on who Jesus was exactly. And I think that it has an interesting dialogue and people could debate and talk about it, and that's very important. But it's great that people believe that Jesus is the Messiah, that he was a very important to humanity. And I think that is very good that people believe in that because, it shows the impact that Jesus had on the earth, So in other religions, like say Buddhism, believes that he was an important prophet too. So all these different religions across the world believe in him, and that's very good. He made his impact. So they thought that he was a false Messiah, the Israelites of his time, but hey, he made this big impact. He fulfilled so many of those prophecies, and God allowed his religion to spread all over the world. So yeah, I mean, it's very great to talk about. And there's also many factions of Protestantism everywhere. And because everyone has their own interpretations. And I think that's fine. Like there's thousands of Protestant churches. And I think that's okay. And there's different Catholic interpretations and Orthodox interpretations. So you had the Catholic Church, and it broke up to the Eastern Church was the Orthodox Church. And they both broke up. And humans, I think we all are flawed. We all have errors. And only God is perfect. And we all have our own interpretations about it. And I think that is fine at the end of the day. And it's great to talk about it. It makes it more interesting. If we all thought the same way, it would be boring. So I think it's great that we have different views and opinions because that's free will at work. Yes, I do, G. I'm very passionate about it. And let's see. Anna says, you were talking to everyone here supporting you. Yeah, Anna, you're doing great. Oh, I like you in the chat. Anna, you didn't say anything wrong. And Anna, I want people here with different opinions. All right? You said nothing wrong. You have a right to your opinion. Yes. I did see it. And thank you, Moki, for sending it to me. Hello, Bob. Great to see you. G, I didn't say that anyone was arguing. I was just saying that Anna is... I'll read it, G. I'll go back and read it. But I just will say that no one was arguing with her, and she's... I wasn't saying you were either. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, I am seeing it, and everything looks like it's all in check. Anna, thank you for sharing your testimony or whatever you want to share. Because everyone has a right here to share their thoughts and opinions about things. It's an open dialogue, and I always love debates. So I think that it's good to see different opinions on things. And yes, I see the comments, and I think y'all are having a healthy, good conversation. And I like how y'all have respect for each other. That's something that we can all agree on, is that the respect that we have for each other and the aliens, because we're all aliens here respecting each other. Hey, Moki, did you follow up Cash Landrum incident yet? Any contact? Oh, Bob, I have not gotten around to do the Cash Landrum thing, but we will be getting to that at some point. All right. But thank you for the reminder. Now, at the same time, there is no aliens so far today. I was just with the Earthlings. Yeah, and Moki is Googling. Okay. This is where typing goes wrong. If you scroll up and there's no debate even, this is why we speak. Speaking live helps. Gee, I didn't say y'all were debating. That's not like putting words in my mouth, all right? I'm not saying you're doing that either. I'm just saying, I was just saying that if people wanted to debate, I'll be more specific. If people want to debate here, they can. It doesn't bother me. Right? I didn't say anyone was debating. Y'all were just having a discussion. All right, let's put the alien baby on the screen. Let's see. There he is. Okay, G. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. All right. All right, here's other displays, and we're going to go... All right, there's the alien baby. Yeah, Bob, that's true. You're welcome, Bob. Wait, what I meant to say was, thank you, Bob, for yeah, that's my alien baby. He is one of the most handsome babies of all time. Right. So something that I wanted to talk about with everybody is, oh, you have a video of the Knights Templar having Jesus' bones. Okay, I'd like to see that. That's cool. So with Bryan Kohberger, which I was mentioning earlier. So, gee, we were talking earlier about Bryan Kohberger, and there's new theories about him going around. So the theory is that Bryan Kohberger is in the incel community, and he was inspired by another dude named Elliot Rogers. Thank you, Moki. Thank you. And Elliot Rogers is this very brilliant, not brilliant. I was thinking of something else. I will say that he was probably very smart. Yes, he was very smart. But Elliot Rogers was very evil, and he was an incel that massacred quite a few people and he would have videos of himself in his car, and he would go and believe that nobody liked him, like he would get no women. And it's believed that Bryan Kohberger was inspired by him, Elliot Rogers, to go do the atrocity that he did. And give me some context about that. Yes, Bethlehem and Jerusalem are very sacred and holy. Yes, I agree. Right. And then we're going to see all right, so some context about Elliot Rogers right here. And this Moki said the aliens thought that religion would curb our violence, but little did they know. Right. Now, I do believe that there are some... Oh yeah, Bob, this is the right place for UFO stuff. This is perfect for UFOs. Now, as I said, that there are many different types. Okay, Greg. Thank you for saying hello, and you have a great weekend too, buddy. All right, so Bob. Yeah, I like the UFOs, and I think it's so fascinating, like with the Area 51 crash. And with Bob, there is so many different technologies that were allegedly captured from the Roswell crash. And the allegedly laser and sonar, no, not sonar, but lasers came from the Roswell crash. Also, there was bulletproof vests. Also came from the Roswell crash too, because the aliens were all in like in a circle when they crashed. Yes, and that bulletproof vests, they got that technology from aliens in that crash, and also lasers. But they were saying that critics will say that if it was true, they wouldn't have been able to get that done. Like they wouldn't have been able to. It was very primitive technology that the aliens had if they did, and they thought it would be more advanced. But allegedly, the technology came from the alien crash. Yes, and there's one surviving alien from Roswell. Yes. Well, AF was making and had a nuke. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. The plane was called in Enola. Gay was it was parked there. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Bomb, for telling us about that information regarding that. I didn't know about that. And basically, I think with the UFOs, there are many of them that are out there that are not being seen. One survived. What happened to him? Okay, going down the list. Okay, everything looks like it's in check. All right, good. I think that has to do with the Sepro story, where the aliens were caught. Basically, they had one of the alien survivors, and that the radar, the radio frequencies caused their UFO to crash. And then although they come from the Zeta Reticuli, they weren't gray aliens, but these other group of aliens came and they wanted their aliens back. So they made this deal with them to go to their planet, Serpo, to get, to exchange information and technology and to get the aliens back to their planet. That was something different because the alien survived and they want him back. Yeah, so there's been a lot of cover up, and some people say that the alien crash was because of Roswell, was because of the Soviets, but I do think that it was a alien craft that came here from the Zeta Reticuli. My top 10 cases. Are we talking about the UFOs or the aliens or this other thing? Now, what I was talking about before also was with Bryan Kohberger. That was something that I saw today, that there's theories that he was a part of the incel community, and he carried out his act inspiration from Elliot Rogers. And who Elliot Rogers was born 91 and died May 2014, was a British American murderer who was known for the killing of 6 people and injuring 14 others during the 2014 Isla Vista killings, and the murders he committed in his suicide and his manifesto have been cited as early as the influence of the incel in the manosphere subculture. Now, this could have been the inspiration for Bryan Kohberger and what he did. Because he carried out something similar to what the other one did. That's what they're saying now. In the years following his death, Rogers' attacks became a topic in conversations about mental health. And he would talk in his car, and he would just sit there and talk and about why no one likes him, why he gets no girlfriend, and why no one likes him, and the evil things he was going to be doing. And he'll be sitting in his car. Rather than going out and trying to do something, he would just go and do this instead. So I think it's quite very evil, and that's, Bryan Kohberger may have been part of that movement. On May 23, 2014, Roger murdered the 6 people and injured the 14. and 14 others using the knife and semi-automatic pistols, and his car was a weapon in the Isle of Vista and near the California state Barbara. Roger first deleted his two roommates, and then their friend, and the apparent they shared ambushing and stabbing them. One of the time they arrived hours later, he drove to the Alpha Phi sorority house where he intended to murder its occupants, but unable to enter in premises, Roger instead shot three women from the Delta sorority where walking outside an Alpha Phi sorority house, deleting two of them while critically injuring the third. He later drove by nearby Delicacian, shooting and deleting a man inside afterwards. Oh, you don't think that Roswell was the Greys? I always thought they were the Greys. Afterward, Roger drove around the aisle and indiscriminately shooting at random and pedestrians. In this vehicle, he exchanged gunfire with the sheriff's deputies twice and getting shot in his hip. After shortly, he crashed his vehicle into a parked car, and police examined the vehicle, and they found Roger deleted gunshots, wounds to the head. Oh, they were Ebians. Okay. All right, so he said that Cash Landrum, Travis Walton, and Maelstrom incident. 4. Okay. So Moki says the Grey survived, took to the planet Serpo, where a man-made mission spent 10 years. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, they do look like Greys. They're from the same constellation. All right. Oh, thank you, Bob. And as I said, the main theme of the channel is aliens. You know, that is the main theme of the channel. And yeah. Now, so basically with Bryan Kohberger, he's likely from the incel community, where they believe they can't get a girlfriend and they go do violent stuff to people. They're basically like trolls. And he was probably trying to imitate what this Elliot Rogers did. And also regarding Serpo, yeah, Aliens and Trials. Oh, so the shows are... I don't really... Okay, they're in the evening or early or later afternoon of every day in the afternoon or in the evening. I don't really exactly have a set time that I do it, but it's around either 5 or 6 Central. I usually start them. Or if it's not on then, it'll come on an hour afterwards. And it's every single day I go live. Now, talking about Planet Serpo, I'll talk about Planet Serpo. Now, my top 10 alien cases, I don't remember, like, every single alien case. Like, I don't have a list of them, although I'm an alien enthusiast. Because I don't remember the names of all of them, Bob. There is one incident where a woman was captured by the Greys, and she produced alien offspring. That was something interesting. There is a couple that were nearly abducted by aliens, and they were very stunned about it. I had a one time somebody was in their car. They were outside with some friends, and they saw a gray alien just standing there. Oh yeah, I agree, Sharon. I agree. So those, and also I like Landrum. As I said, I don't like know every single alien cases. I know them, but I don't remember the names of them. So I just kind of randomly go from this one to that one. Yeah. So another one that I like is there's these incidents of people who were they had an abduction experience, and this woman saw the Greys, and they were talking to her, and she was like on an operating table. And also the Zimbabwe school one was very good. In Africa, there's this incident where there's a UFO raid, and the UFO raid, all these aliens were everywhere, and all these kids saw it in the 90s, and to this day these adults are saying that they saw those aliens. And as I said before, that I do know a bunch of them, but I don't have a list of these alien encounters of that I like the most. I didn't do that in my head, but I know about thousands of them throughout the centuries. I mean, the ancient Egyptians saw their gods came from the star Sirius, so that was an encounter. Yeah, there was. My favorite one is when the fallen angels came down to mate with Earth women to create hybrids. That's basically the same thing. It's all right, Moki. Er, You know, basically, I understand you're trying to keep the chat together, and they're probably just lurking right now. They may not be saying anything, but it's all good, Moki. I think that the chat will get itself. Chat seems to be getting along. I don't think it made them mad. I think that the chat is getting along, and they cleared up any misunderstandings they had. I think that G and Anna are fine. They're either lurking or they'll be, we'll see them another time. Oh, okay, Bob. Okay. Okay, thank you, Moki, for the link. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Charles James Hall is one. I liked him. And also this other guy that was in the feds. With the different things with the feds, and this guy had an alien encounter, and he said that the aliens smell really bad because they secrete, they go do their waste through secretion. Yeah, because a lot of people are lurking. It doesn't mean that people are mad. If people don't talk in the chat, it doesn't mean they're mad. Oh, okay, G. I'm glad that you're doing that, and I hope that you have a good day with that tomorrow. And Anna, thank you both for being here. Okay, G. Glad that y'all listening. All right, and also before I get into Planet Serpo again, yes, I know about the tall whites. And Bob, I really appreciate you telling me the alien incidences that happened, because I'll go back later and look at them. Okay. Because I just did a cluster of all this information, and all clustered together. I didn't go this case and that case. I just put them, jumbled all of them up in a gumbo. I'm gonna give y'all the definition of incels, okay? Before I get into Serpo. I can do it. The incel, a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, typically associate with views that are hostile towards women and men who are sexually active. And so basically with the incel, so Bryan Kohberger was part of that community most likely, and G and I were talking about him when he took his during his trial, when he took the plea deal. We were basically alluding to that, and now it's been confirmed. Our theory about Bryan Kohberger has been confirmed, and he was probably trying to imitate Elliot Rodger. You light the fire in the sky, it's your fave. Well, that's great. Yes, he is looking right at you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's see. Let's go here. Yeah, the chat gets spicy. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, so that's basically Bryan Kohberger, and I'm glad that G and I helped solve that case, basically, because we came up with a theory before anyone else did, but then I got more context about it from other people. That's why it's a teamwork. The people that said his link with Elliot Rodger, and also the incel community, and also what G and I are talking about, that's a team working together. And G said, don't try to figure us out. We think we are upset. We are happy. It's whole woman thing. Be happy. You are a man. You guys have it easy. No hormonal issues. Yeah, exactly. Right. Anna said, hens getting feathers in a ruffle, nothing new. Yeah, just with the emotions. Yeah, they're in tune with their emotions. And I think that's a strength that women have. Because they're very great with childcare and taking care of children. And men are good at doing things with other areas. So I think that men and women both complement each other. Like, for instance, that G loves to look at the alien baby because very nurturing and very good with the kids and the young people. So I think that is a strength that women have. Like, I'm glad that they're in tune with their emotions. That's very good. Yes, G, absolutely. That is a very good point. Yes. All right, thank you, Moki, for the link. I have it saved. Thanks, Bob. Sharon said hormones are dead. Scared. Yes. Thank you, G, for doing that. G said when Alien becomes famous, it's because we are the Kardashian second channel here. Yeah, that's true. Yes. And Bob said at Shaggy Harbor, the Navy said it was a UFO, and the people said it was a plane. It went underwater, and they chased it for weeks. Oh, okay. Thank you, buddy. I didn't know that. Scared. Better put in for my commission, Alien. If we get you to a few million, remember us little people. Gee, I'll always remember you all that were with me from the beginning. I always remember you all as we head up to the top, because we will go to the top. We will get there. And I will remember y'all that came with me during that time. Yes, Bob, that would be great. Yes. Yes, G's right. People love drama. And let's come up with more arguments and call it a slut. Scared. This alien baby is starting to look at me like Brian K. move his eyes away from me. Scared. Y'all are hilarious. All right. And Serpo typically refers to the alleged planet. And G said, I mean, if all Bryan needed was a few minutes in bed, we can get him a girl. To save those kids, anyone would sleep with him for a few. And Moki said she should get a cut of the profits. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you're talking. And absolutely. And G said, Bob, hell no, I am not one getting yelled at. I am the most money. Yeah. There you go. Facts. Facts. And yeah, CG, Elliot Rogers went and murdered a bunch of people because no girl would like him. So yeah, they should have just got some woman to pay to go in bed with him, and then he wouldn't have been like that, I guess. And also Kohberger too. Like, just give him a woman, because they believe that they can't get any woman. And Elliot Rogers did videos in his car about why he couldn't get a girlfriend. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, G. Yes, understood. Yeah, I just learned about that today. All right. Serpo typically refers to the alleged planet of an alien civilization called the Ebians. And G said, but I believe any girl would sacrifice her treasure chest to save 4 people's lives. Yeah, I agree. Kentucky allegedly has a lot of alien sightings, it seems. Yes, your alien baby is staring at you smiling. Yes, that's true. Yes, absolutely, Bob. Yes. They do stand the test of time, certain ones, yes. Hello, Shell. It is great to see you. Welcome to the stream. So basically, Shell, we were talking about a couple of different things. We were talking about UFOs and aliens too. And also what I was saying before, in addition to this, was that Bryan Kohberger was likely an incel. So an incel is somebody that, a group of young men that think they can't get a girlfriend, and they want to go and attack women and people in relationships. So this dude, Elliot Roger, used to sit in his car and talk about it, and he was going to go do some genocide. He was going to kill a few people and delete himself, I believe, also. So Bryan Kohberger likely took inspiration from him, and he mimicked what he did. And we were talking about that. They needed to get them some women so that all these other people wouldn't get deleted. So that is a revelation I learned about today that he was trying to imitate. And also we're talking about UFO cases that have happened, and we're talking about Planet Serpo as well. With this, so it's aliens and trials basically, but yeah, that's kind of some stuff that we're going over. All right, so what is Planet Serpo? Typically refers to the alleged planet of an alien civilization called the Ebians. Featured in the Project Serpo story, this story originated from the supposed U.S. government exchange program with the Ebians, claims that the 12 military personnel were sent to Serpo, located 39 light years away, to Zeta Reticuli star system. Yeah, Greg just told us hello for a moment, and then he left. That is true, Anna. The firing squad would have deleted him. That's true. Oh, okay, Bob. Understood. And also, my favorite alien cases are the ones that we've seen already, like the videos I've reacted to. And G said, I can't believe with the Raul case, they're going forward with the other charges. Okay. Yes, Shell, that is a very good series. Yes. I know, because they really want to try to convict him. Helium-3 used to cool quantum computers. And he's 2 years China mined helium-3 dark side. Thank you. He Bob said, "Put the moon dirt in my CPU." Oh, all right, all right. There you go. Yeah, helium-3. I didn't know that, Bob. Thank you. I'm just learning. All right, and Serpo typically refers to the alleged planet of an alien civilization called the Ebians. Featured in Project Serpo, the story is that this originating from the supposed U.S. government exchange program with Ebians claims that 12 military personnel were sent to Serpo, located 39 light years away in the Zeta Reticuli star system. For 13 years, the story also involves a leaked debriefing and logbooks from the expedition. While considered a hoax by many, it has gained traction as a UFO conspiracy theory. Don't think they are going to be civil cases. I am going to. They're going to pursue charges. Okay, understood, Bob. So here's a more detailed breakdown. The claim that Project Serpo's story and secret human exchange program with the alien civilization called the Ebians, who said to live in the planet Serpo. The exchange. 12 military personnel selected by President Kennedy in 1962 purportedly traveled to Serpo for 13 years. Some people thought it was a hoax. Other people think that it was real. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to talk more about the Serpo as well here. All right. So Project Serpo is an alleged top secret exchange program between the United States government and an alien planet called Serpo and Zeta Reticuli, the star system, the same where the Greys come from. The star system details of alleged exchange program have appeared in several UFO conspiracy stories, including the one incident in 1983, which a man identifying himself as the United States Air Force Sergeant Richard C. Doherty contacted investigators, journalist Linda Moulton Howie, claiming to supply her Air Force records for exchange for her HBO documentary E.T. Factor, only to put out without providing any experience to substantiate his story. And the incident in 2005, when a series of emails were sent to UFO discussion group run by Victor Martinez claiming that the project was real. Some variations of the conspiracy story stated that name Serpo is a nickname of extrasolar planet. Other versions state that the mispronunciation is either Serponia or Sienu by authorities involved in the project. Bob says Airgill a substrate insulator. Now they print it with metal. Oh, okay. Agriel is also used in space. They erect a panel that can catch small particles from space. Wonder if Victor Martino is an alien getting him on cam. Okay. And remember, this prosecutor said something to the judge before the verdict was read. Yeah. Right, Sharon? I hope that I didn't hear that wrong. Do you hear that too? The first mention of a Project Serpo was in the UFO email list maintained by enthusiast Victor Martinez. Various versions of the conspiracy theory circulated and were later detailed on a web. According to the most common version of the story, an alien survived a crash near Roswell in the later 1940s. See Roswell UFO incident. This alien was detailed but treated well by American military forces, contacted its home planet, and eventually repatriated. The story continues by claiming that this led to the establishment of some sort of relationship between the American government and the people of its home world, and said to be planet of binary star system Zeta Reticuli. Well, maybe one day the Cash Landrum boy will come forward. I'm going to work on that. Oh, thank you, buddy. And G said she thinks the judge will be happy with the results. All right, thank you. The first mention of Project Serpo was a UFO email list maintained by enthusiast Victor Martinez. Various versions of the conspiracy theory circulated and were later detailed on the website. According to most common versions of the story, an alien survived a crash near Roswell in the later 1940s. This alien was detained by treated well by the American military forces, contacted its home planet, and eventually repatriated. The story continues by claiming that this led to the establishment of some sort of relationship between American government and the people of his home world, said to be planet of binary star system Zeta Reticuli. Yeah. And with basically some facts about Serpo is that the aliens there they lived in like something like a pueblo. They also they were vegetarian, and they ate this type of chalk stuff, kind of chalk looking stuff, and they didn't eat the meat. Oh, okay, Bob. Most stars are actually true. They call them binary. Okay, thanks. And they had animals on their planet, and they allowed the Earthlings that were there to hunt them because they needed the protein, but they thought it was kind of strange. So these aliens didn't need the protein. What they did next was there is this light inside of it, and the light inside of it, they were able to be there without any kind of electricity because they had the light. The light would be on by itself like solar. And the aliens would pray one time a day on Serpo, the Ebians. So it's interesting, on other planets, they believe in a higher being. That's very fascinating. And they're against the Greys, it seems. And the Greys are the ones that I'm suspicious of. But at the same time, these aliens are a little bit suspicious because one of the crew members passed away. So, Bob, with Serpo, they came to visit the planet, and during their journey, they had they had the weapons on them, and they're traveling through space, and then one of the crew members passed away. Well, one of the crew members was sick. Then the crew member passed away. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they want to see their crew member that was sick, but they wouldn't let them talk to the crew member, and they had him in isolation. And then throughout time, when they're on the planet, they want to see their crewmate that was missing. Right. Yes. So what they did next was they I was reading what the chat was saying. So what they did was they found him. Okay, they eventually said that they passed away, that their friend, their crew member passed away. They want to see him, and they went to this laboratory where they had all these strange creatures that they cannot explain in these giant water tanks, liquid tanks, and they had like one that looked like a refrigerator shaped with 3 eyes. There's like a half human, half lizard looking thing. And they found their friend that was a human alien hybrid. So what they did was they're experimenting on different humans and different creatures throughout space and having them in this laboratory. So that was something a little bit suspicious about them. And then but the rest of the time they had a good time, and they're kind of like a utopia. They had... Right. It was 13, technically, I think. And one of them stayed on Serpo. One of them stayed there. And then the other one, the rest of them returned and one died. So that is like how the summarizing like how the trip worked. Now I do believe that some aliens are fallen angels. Some of them are fallen angels disguised as aliens. But it doesn't mean every single alien is a fallen angel, though. Right, but there are some aliens that are out there that are actually the Watchers that are disguising themselves a different way. Right. Understood, yes. G said, the thing is definitely, if no one else cared, the deleter of her kids, it was 1,000,000% her would held them up. Oh, yeah, okay. Understood, G. Zeta Reticuli has history of UFOlogy. Including the Betty and Barney Hills abduction and Bob Lazar story, having been claimed as the home system of alien race called the Greys. The story finally claims that the 2 American military personnel visited the planet between 1965 and 1978, and that all of the planet had since been deleted from after the effects of high radiation levels and from the 2 suns. Another version of the story that 18 members returned on the 7-month track home, and the team member 308, team pilot, passed away in a pulmonary embolism and en route to Serpo. A 9-month journey, 11 arrived safely, 1 passed away, and both of their bodies were returned to Earth, while 2 others decided to remain on the alien homeworld of Serpo. So 2 decided to stay home on Serpo. My bad. One criticism Project Serpo stems from a lack of veracity of one of its alleged witnesses, Sergeant Richard Doty. Doty had been involved in other alleged UFO-related activities, Majestic 12 and Paul Benzowitz, and thus is a discredited source of purposeful provider of this information. Additionally, there is no physical evidence of supporting the project's existence. According to Tim Swartz of the Mysterious magazine, Doty, who promise evidence of molten Howie before backing out, has been involved in circulating several other UFO conspiracy stories. Schwartz also explored that the details of Project Serpo have varied considerably with different accounts. It has been alleged that the entire series of posts were designed to be viral, making for the new book by Doty. Alright. G said, in other words, 700 jurors should see the same thing, since what really happened, doesn't change something. Either occurs, it doesn't and shouldn't change. Me either. Gosh, even the kids was shocked. He knew that he did it. I can see someone's face. I know 2 minutes. His tears were all fake. Okay. Exactly. So it's interesting to see the different things that are unfolding with the Raul trial. Thank y'all. Thank you, chat, for the info. Bill Ryan, a chief proponent of publicizing the Project Serpo claims, announcing on 5 March 2007 that he was stepping down from his role as webmaster of Serpo material. Okay, thanks, Bob. Yes. Ryan, nevertheless, maintains that his belief in the extraterrestrial exchange program did occur, although he states that Serpo releases definitely contacted disinformation. Thank you, Mookie. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Yeah, exactly, Bob. Yeah. I love the links. All right, let's see. Let's see what the... Yeah, Bob, you want to share a link, feel free to. Let's see what the cataclysm ending of September 27 is going to be. All right, so this is an alleged thing that will happen in 27. In 2027, allegedly. Reagan told the world that he thought he was joking or just talking of MU1 himself, told the world that he won't be stopped. Want to hear the truth? Here it is. So this is an alleged event. All this is alleged. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, get ready for everyone to call me... This is what the whistleblower user says. Get ready, everyone, for calling me a conspiracy theorist, but if you really want to know what's coming, I'm trying to prevent, I'll tell you. In 1947, following the Roswell incident, President Truman ordered the creation of the following: the CIA and the U.S. Air Force. The National Security Act, the National Security Council, then issued the classified executive order, Order of 54-12, the creation of classified group of intelligence and military officers to the overseas extraterrestrial industrial subjects and everything connected to it. Answering only to President of the United States, it's officially listened as a special student studies group. Its actual name is the Majestic 12 Group. Yes, they are real. And once President Eisenhower took office, he lost control of them immediately and had to assist himself into the picture. He was successful in doing so, but in the time that he left office in 1941, he had lost all authority over the Majestic 12 group due to classified nature of their existence. He called them the nickname during his farewell speech in 1961. He called them the military industrial complex. From 1950s all the way to 1960s, MJ-12 was in contact with multiple extraterrestrial species and civilizations. This includes what is known as Galactic Federation of Light, or GFL. When you hear people refer to Galactic Federation, that's the real name. During these interactions, especially with GFL, and MJ-12 was told that they would not be brought into the galactic community as a planet itself and would have to continue in secret. If all the governments we had on our planet did not unite as one planet. So 1960s MJ-12 starting putting a plan together by Ronald Reagan first administration. This plan was finalized. It is now playing out to be our very eyes as before, and while here it is. Thank you for the link. Alright, I'm going to save this one too. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, shout out to Bob. Thank you for the link, buddy. MJ-12, where humans were class 0 civilization. Okay. Oh, that is very nice of you, Bob. That's very nice of you. I'm glad that you enjoy our company and you would do that for us. Thank you. G said, I know exactly what happened. They saw a child with a whole future in front of him, and he wasn't a single kid going around murdering. He was with a group of people who were all acting stupid. Jurors have to live with the decisions, and it's all gonna factor in. Like, he wasn't on one person, like, blowing up a school, or like Bryan Kohberger going around murdering, so they felt bad for him. Exactly. And I think that Raul's defense is a very good job at it. What they were doing, because they were able to convince the audience. Right. The plan is to destabilize different regions of the world using money, race, religion, culture, and politics to keep everyone divided worldwide. I agree with that, certainly. That's what I like about Law and Crime. That's what I like about them. Listen again. Different regions of the world using money, race, religion, culture, and politics to keep everyone worldwide divided. That's what I like about it, because it tricks the Matrix. It fools the Matrix when you have people coming together. That's what I liked about this chat, about having different people here from different opinions and stuff. And that's what I like about the trial chat. Because it's like you're breaking out the Matrix. Because when you're like one side or this side, you're in the Matrix. But I feel like I was breaking out the Matrix by doing that. So yeah, shout out to all of y'all. And that is something I totally agree with. Then to start World War III in a parallel civil wars, including the United States, and once everyone is in their lowest point worldwide, the Majestic 12 group will use their alien reproduction vehicles, ARVs, and their programmed life forms that they have been building for decades to stage a fake alien invasion on the planet of Earth. Billions of people will be deleted during this process. Reminds you of War of the Worlds. So they made something called the unsearchables list. Exactly, Bob. Right. And a fake alien invasion on the planet. Okay, Moki. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow, Moki, and go touch grass. Have a good time, and thank you for all the links and spending time with us and helping out our chat. We love you very much. Take care. So billions of people will perish during this process. Okay, Moki. any country, region, or type of person that does not fit a mold of what they see the future and see being will. Okay, so billions of people will perish during this process, so they made something called the undesirables list. Any country, region, or type of person that does not fit the mold of what they see in the future being will eliminate it along with all the other billions of casualties. It will be a blend of right in and all time United Nations will release this statement informing all civilizations of the world that in order to fight a common enemy, we have to unite as one species, and therefore all governments will be forming one world government called the United Nations, the governing body, and it will be ran by its founders, the United States, America, the Majestic 12 group. Then, after some fighting, they will hit off a switch, and we will be so called defeat this common enemy, and then everyone left will be rebuilding. And they will introduce the so called good aliens, aka the real aliens, during the same time, which will be a deception, and act like those aliens helped defeat and so called the enemy. At the time, this will be welcomed in the galactic federations as civilizations, and not just in secret but worldwide governments. It will be then moved into what is called the Age of Love we are currently in, something called the Age of Light. This is the fallen angels, the Watchers, I think, in my opinion. That's who they are in this instance. This is not a game, this is not a scam, and it'll ask everyone that reads this, repost it. Tragedy, I can stop from happening, a plan, but no one is listening because no one is reading my whistleblowing documents. Double proposal for Congress. I'm trying to get one of you to watch 90 Day Finance so we all can laugh at it. Okay. Oh, the Etsy baby alien not attractive. Scared. All right, we have plans proposed by Zachariah Sitchin. The work of Zachariah Sitchin has garnered much of attention among UFOologists, ancient astronaut theorists, and conspiracy theorists. He claims to have uncovered through his retranslations of the Sumerian text evidence of the human race was visited and created by a group of extraterrestrials from a distant planet in the solar system. Parts of this theory lay the astronomical interpretation of Babylon creation myth, the Enuma Elish, which was a place named of the gods with hypothetical planets. However, since the principal evidence of Strichin's claims lay on its own personal derived etymologies, not on any scholarly agreed interpretations, the academics considered the pseudoscience and pseudohistory if they know it at all. Oh yeah, cause I personally not heard of that show. Let's see. Yeah, I have not. I've seen clips of that show. Stitchin's theory proposes that the planets of Tiamat and Nibiru, Tiamat supposedly existed between Mars and Jupiter. The planet's orbit was disrupted by the arrival of large planet, a very small star less than 20 times the size of Jupiter. which passes through the planetary system between 65 million and 4 billion years ago. The new orbits caused the Tiamat to collide with one of the moons of Nibiru. Debris from the collision are thought to be a series of promotants that have variously formed the asteroid belt and currently form the planet Earth. Sharon said, okay, go for now. Thanks for a great chat, and Alien for a great stream. Have a great weekend. Sharon, you too. Thank you for coming so much. Now, my opinion, I believe that Nibiru did not get destroyed. I believe that it's still there because of the astronauts, not the astronauts, but the planet itself. There's signs of a very large planet out beyond Neptune that is pulling different planets around. So it's a sign that Nibiru's still there. So no, I believe Nibiru's still there. Stitches claim that Babylon's associated Nibiru with the god Marduk, and the word Akkadine meaning that uncertain. Stitchin hypothesized it as a planet in highly ecliptic orbit around the sun with the pre-Helian passage some 3,600 years ago, an assumed orbital period of about 3,450 years. He also claimed that it was the home of technology, advanced human-like alien race, the Anunnaki, who apparently visited Earth in search of gold. These beings eventually created humanity by genetically crossing themselves with the extant primates, and thus becoming the first gods. Beginning in 1995, the website of Zeta Talk have claimed that Nibiru, our planet, is a brown dwarf currently within our planet's solar system, soon as it pass relatively close to Earth. And as I said, I do believe that this planet will pass our planet at some point. And they did say recently that they found the planet beyond Neptune. Yes, that is true. Texas has a history of UFO reports, including the Ora, Texas incident 1897, which involved the report of a crash of mysterious craft. Okay, thank you, Bob. Yes, G, Texas. Umo is a hypothetical planet believed to be located in the constellation of Virgo. Umo as a civilization are described as a decades-long series of claims that aliens from the planet Umo was communicating with people on Earth. Most Umo information was the form of detailed documents and letters sent to various astrotic groups of or UFO enthusiasts. The Umo affair was subject to much mainstream attention in France and Spain during the 1960s, and a degree of interest remains regarding the subject. Umoism is a term used to define the different groups of interest and study of the ideas of concepts of present Umo letters. The culprit or culprits is known, but Jose Pena has claimed responsibility for writing the letters and instigating the Umoism, leading many to think that Umo could have been an elaborate hoax. However, years ago, there were still small group of devotees such as the strange Bolivian cult and the Daughters of Umo. Thank you, Bob, for the link. Bob has placed a link in the chat for y'all to look at about what he was talking about. All right. All right, thank you, Bob. Okay. Okay, thank you, Bob. Awesome. All right. Jacques Vallée has said that the authors of the UMO documents might be real world analog of the fictional creators of the Borges Orbis Tellus Terra Itius. Historian Mike Dash writes that the Umoism began on February 6, 1966, in Madrid. On the other day in Jordan, Penna claimed to have had a close encounter of the first kind when he saw an enormous circular object with three legs, and on the underside a curious symbol, three vertical lines joined by a horizontal bar. The two exterior lines curved outward at the edges, which made the pictogram resemble the alchemy symbol of the planet Uranus. Penna reported generated a fair amount of excitement, but it was only the beginning. Not long afterwards, the Madrid author of a UFO book received several photographs in an anonymous mailing photos that were crafted similar to one reported by Penna. The bearing the same symbol with the few words, a leading Spanish contactee named Fernando Manzano became involved when he began to recitingly lengthy typewritten documents which purported to come from the spacefaring race called the Utamites. Yeah, the planet Uranus. I know. Yeah, I know. The name is hilarious. Let's see where the name Uranus originates from. Planet Uranus. Name origin. The planet Uranus, named after the ancient Greek personification of the sky, O Uranos. This is where it originates from. I'll put it in the chat for y'all to see. Because there's also some Greek letters. Greek symbols. Which is a Latinized version of Uranus. So, O Uranos in Latinized version is Uranus. This name was chosen by the German astronomer Johann Bode, who suggested to align with the practice of naming planets after figures from classical mythology, specifically Greek and Roman deities. Bode proposed Uranus as the father of Saturn, who in turn was the father of Jupiter, creating the familial lineage of the newly discovered planet. Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Uranos was primordial deity, the god of the sky and heavens. He was the son of the husband of Gaia, Earth, and the father of Titans, including Kronos, Saturn. The Roman equivalent of Uranus is Callios. The planet Uranus was discovered by William Herschel in 1781. Initially, Herschel proposed naming it George Guillaume Sidious. Sidious. George's star. After King George III. However, this name did not gain widespread acceptance outside of Britain. Oh, yeah, okay. And King George III would not be accepted because he was the king of the country of the United States. And the United States probably didn't want to name a star after him, but personally, I think that's okay. But, it's okay how they named it. Georgium Sidious. Alright. And Bode's proposal. Johann Bode's suggestion of Uranus is based on the mythical lineage of ultimately prevailed. The choice aligned an existing pattern naming the planets after the Roman gods, even though Uranus is derived from the Greek name. While the name Uranus was proposed relatively soon after the discovery, it took some time for it to become commonly used. By 1850, it was widely accepted. G wants to know from Anna, what shows does she watch? Everything is Greek. Gus, Protokolos, told us that in fat Greek wedding. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, shout out to Uranus. Anus lives matter. Here I go. Okay, great. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, yeah, G, yeah. And some of the Umite writings he says that has received. He also claims that the scientific subjects addressed the Umite letters are totally innovative and have directly inspired him in the research of cosmology and hydrodynamics. On basis of letters, it is different to speak of an ultimate language. All we have is, apart from a few complete sentences, is a lexicon, is set of the vocables, the vast majority of which are given to us isolation. Mentions 403 words, Umites, in a 1978 compilation, and Jean Polion, Yuma de Verais, list over 1,000 words, considering that every doubling of a letter in the word is significant. Two theories have been formulated in the annals of the Umite letters. Scared. First defined by Jean Polion, considers that each letter sounded of a phenomena in words transcribed in the typewritten form is signifying that he has called these sounds snow seps. He considers this to be an ideomorphic language. By adding the ideographic languages, which proceeded by assembling ideas corresponding to written and pronounceable signs, I have chosen to attribute to this language the ideomorphic character to date. I have counted 17 snowseps by associative combinations of these phenomena, phonemes, almost all of which are retaliational. Oh, thank you, Bob. The second consider is the differences in spelling, especially in the doubting of letters. The doubling of letters are of little significance, and they are due to differences in understanding of foreign sounds by the typist, or difficulties in alphabetic transcription. They consider that the language is made up of a word objects of not concepts. Currently, more than 1,300 pages of those letters have been registered, but it's possible that many letters exist. In 1988, letter reference is made to exist up of 383,850 pages, copied of which have been sent to several individuals, representing perhaps of 160,000 pages. Total UMO documents truly identified the authors of the report remains unknown. Okay, G. Okay, Bob, thank you. Dash notes that UFOologists outside of Spain took UMOism seriously. The photographic evidence was highly suspect, and while the Umite letters were more sophisticated, the most contacty communication, there was nothing in them that could not have originated on Earth. Still, the Dash allows that whatever their origins, considerable efforts had into the supposed hoax. Many scientific subjects are described in detail in the letters, including the network theory, astrophysics, cosmology, and the unified field theory, biology, and evolution. Some of this information is thought to be dubious pseudoscience, but much of the scientifically accurate. However, Jerome Clark, 1993, notes that the Jacques Vallée argued that the scientific content of UMO letters was knowledgeable but remarkable, and compared to the scientific references to a well-researched science fiction novel, plausible in the 1960s but dated by the standards of 1990s. The controversy over an error in the distance from Wolf 424 arose from the first letter refers to D21, May 1966, which states the first distance of one used terrestrial astronomers for their circulations of curvatures of light as passes through a field of high gravitational intensity, such as distance is constant for two bodies fixed in space. The second distance is a function of a time measured in a n-dimensional space with a certain periodically. Its measurement is very important as it relates to our galactic travels. Distance from the Iuma to the Sun, apparent distance which a coherent beam of waves would follow in a three-dimensional space. On the January 1955 was 14.437 light years. The real distance, straightforward distance space, on the same date, according to our measurement, was 3.685 light years. Further on, after giving some characteristics to the author adds, the result is that the impossible, even with the most careful axis translation to identify the same star coded by with another cataloged by Earth astronomers. We believe, however, that our Iuma may still be the star you've registered as Wolf 424, as its coordinates are similar to those we've given to you. Thus, the ill-informed, ill-intentioned critics have amputated the original writings, argue that the author of the letters relied on erroneous measurements and distance coinciding with the measurements of Yerkes laboratory in 38. Let's see. All right. All right, there's something called Lilith, which is a biblical figure, allegedly. Not a biblical figure, but an alleged first wife to Adam. Lilith is a fictitious, invisible moon of Earth, supposedly about the same mass of Earth's moon, proposed in 1918 by astrologer Walter Gorn Old, who called himself the Sephirile. The Sephirile applied to the name Lilith from the medieval Jewish legend, where she described as the least first wife of Adam. Serfiel claimed that Lilith was the same second moon that the scientist George Waltemath claimed to have discovered 20 years earlier, but which had never been confirmed. Serfiel also claimed to be the first person in history to observe the Waltemath's moon as it crossed the sun, and rationalized that it was too dark to be otherwise visually detected. The Sephiril's community ignored the fact that Waltemaths proposed the moon and had already been discredited by the scientific community at the turn of the century. There are many readily apparent holes and arguments supporting Lilith's existence. An existence is believed only by fringe groups. Astrologers now generally use the name for the position of the actual moon's apogee. Bob said Wolf is 424 is binary star system comprising of two red dwarf stars. Okay. Alright, let's see what this is about. Wolf 24. Now this looks interesting. Kind of has like a Pisces symbol. Okay, going to talk a little about this. Wolf 424 is a binary star system comprising of two red dwarf stars. The stars are located at a distance of 14.37 light years and hence are among the nearest stars, but due to their faint intrinsic brightness, they are not visible to the naked eye. Wolf 24 is located in the constellation of Virgo between the stars of Virgins and O Virgins. No, not Virgins, but Virgin Eyes and Virgin Eyes. The close binary nature of the star was discovered by Dutch-American astronomer Dirk Rayul in 1941 based on the elongation of the star found in the photographs. The two stars in the 424 system orbit about each other with a semi-major axis of AU and the eccentricity of 0.3. The stars have orbital period 15.5 years and have combined the apparent magnitude of about 12.5. It's a zombie planet with no parent star. Okay, thanks. Wolf 424A and Wolf 424B are similar spectrum and similar shape size stars, both red dwarfs, with masses of 0.13.8 and 0.26 m. The radii of 0.15 and 0.15. They like our music. Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. Yes. Right. Respectively. In 1967, it was discovered that both stars that undergo random increase in luminous star system have been designed in FL Virginis and may experience sunspot activity. The stars may undergo variation in the level of a flare activity over periods lasting several years. Okay, it's Wolf 2.4. I'm going to show on the screen for a moment. Let's see. I want to do it like this. Most stars are red dwarf because they live so long. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Have to do this again. Okay. Oh, I got it. I got a little dyslexic for a second. Okay, it's 4.24. I was getting it wrong. Okay. There we go. Alright, this is the star system. Yeah, so that is its sign. Yeah, so very fascinating, very fascinating. Okay. And that's two of them right there. And Wolf is right in that area. Okay, cool. And they're also their red dwarfs. Yeah, and he's saying that it's like a dead star. Okay, it's very cool. I like the sign of it. Alright, let's see red dwarf. What that is. Thanks, Bob. A red dwarf star is a small, cool, relatively dim type of star, and it's the most common type of our galaxy. They are less massive than our sun, typically between 77.5% and 50% the mass of the sun. Red dwarfs burn their hydrogen fuel very slowly, giving them exceptionally long lifespan, potentially trillions of years. Okay, let's see what that is right now. Okay. The closest star system to Earth, excluding our sun, is Alpha Centauri system. The system consists of three stars: Alpha Centauri A, Alpha Centauri B, and Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is the closest individual star to our solar system, located in a distance of 4.24 light years. Okay, going to. This is what it's called. Right, red dwarfs are much smaller and cooler than our sun, which surface temperature ranges from 3,700 Celsius to 670 Celsius. 6,700 and 3,700. Right. Slow fuse. They fuse hydrogen into helium in their core, but it's much slower rate than the larger stars, which is why they live so long. Dim and faint. Due to their low temperature, red dwarfs emit very light and are difficult for observers to see without a telescope. Red dwarfs are fully convective, meaning that the helium and hydrogen are constantly mixed, unlike the stars like our sun. They make up a significant portion of potentially 70% or more of their stars in the Milky Way. Habitable zones. Exactly. Most stars that we don't see, yes. That's just crazy to think about. Like, most of the stars out there are stars that we do not see. And imagine what it would look like if we could see more. They make up a significant portion of potentially 70% or more of the stars in the Milky Way. Yeah, 70%. Wow. So we are only seeing 30% of them. Red dwarfs had a habitable zones where liquid water could potentially exist on the surface of orbiting planets. A red dwarf star with a system of at least 7 Earth-sized planets, some of which may be in habitable zone. Red dwarfs are expected to live for trillions of years, much longer than the stars like our sun. Will only last for about 10 billion years. This long lifespan is due to their slow rate of hydrogen consumption. Hospitality. While the habitability zone around the red dwarf are close to the star than our sun's habitable zone, making the planet potentially tidally locked one side away from facing star. It doesn't necessarily mean they are inhabitable. Some scientists speculate that life could potentially evolve on planets like red dwarfs. 7 Earth-like size. Oh, okay. Wow, that's wild. Okay, and there's this constellation that is being seen. It's the Dragon constellation. The Draco constellation, meaning the dragon in Latin, is a large constellation in the northern sky, notably for its winding shape that encircles the northern star Polaris. It's one of the oldest constellations, first cataloged by Ptolemy in the 2nd century. Draco stars are not particularly bright, but its location and shape make it relatively easy to spot, especially in the northern hemisphere. All right, Bob, thank you. Thank you. It's one of the oldest constellations, first cataloged in Ptolemy in the 2nd century. Draco stars are particularly not particularly bright, but its locations and shape make it relatively easy to spot, especially in the northern hemisphere. The circumpolar Draco is circumpolar for many observers in the northern hemisphere, making it always visible and never sets below the horizon. Location. It lies between the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, wrapping around the North Star. Shout out to Mary Toodles. The tail. The tail of Draco extends between the Big and Little Dippers, with the star Thuban historically serving the pole star around 300 BC. In Greek mythology, Draco is often associated with the dragon and guarded the golden apples of Hesperides, with Hercules had to retrieve as one of his 12 laborers. Other cultures' constellation is also linked to their dragon myths and symbols of the strength, good luck in various cultures. Locate Polaris, the Northern Star. Look for the Big Little Dippers. Draco lies between them, and the head of Draco is near Hercules and to be identified by 4 stars. M012. Draco contains the Miser object of M102, also known as the Spindle Galaxy. Cat's Eye Nebula also hosts the Cat's Eye Nebula, a planetary nebula known for its complex structure. Meow. 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 Scared. Draconid's meteor shower. Yes, Bob. The Draconis meteor shower appears to radiate from Draco's head in early October. As at nighttime I look at constellations, I can see it from my yard. Yes, correct. Yeah, I see the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. I see both of them. You know, I do like looking at the constellations at night. It is very fascinating. You know, and the dragon one's very fascinating. I see that all the time. And we have that. Very cool. Cat's Eye Nebula looks amazing. Wow, that is a really great piece of art right there. Well, that is beautiful. The Cat's Eye Nebula. Yeah, facts. All right. So, read a little bit about this. Right. Draco is a constellation in the far northern sky, named the Latin Dragon. Named for Latin for dragon, it was one of the 48 constellations listed in the 2nd century Greek astronomer Ptolemy. remains one of the 88 modern constellations today. The North Pole ecliptic is a Draco is circumpolar from the northern latitudes, meaning that it never sets and it can be seen at any time of the year. Thubian was a northern pole star from 3942 BC. When it moved farther north, the Theta Bootis, until 1793, the Egyptian pyramids were designed to have one side facing north, with an entrance passage geometrically aligned so that Thubian will be visible at night. Due to the effects of the precision, it will again be a pole to star around the year AD and 21,000. It is 21,000 AD. It is a blue-white giant star with a magnitude of 3.7 to 309 light years from Earth. The traditional name is Alpha Draconis, and Thubian means head of the serpent. Oh yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was studying some constellations, and I found out that I have this. I see it in the night sky. I see a piece of it. So I was doing some research about how to like find it and detect what it was, because I've always been seeing this thing, and I think that's what it is. Yeah, so it's very cool. All right. So going this way, right there. And we're going to go back here, a little bit more about it. There are 3 stars in magnitude 3 in the Draco. The brighter the 3 and brightest star of Draco is Gamma Draconis. Traditionally called the Etamin or Etienne, it is the orange giant star magnitude of 2.2, 4.8 light years from Earth. The abbreviation of starlight was discovered in 1728 when James Randley observed Gamma Draconis. Nearby Beta Draconis, traditionally called the Rastaban, is a yellow giant star of magnitude 2.8362 light years from Earth. Its name shares a meaning with Thubian, head of the serpent. Draco also features several interacting galaxies and galaxy clusters. One such massive cluster is Abel 2218, located in a distance of 3 billion light years. Draco is home to several double stars as binary stars. Draconis, traditionally called Athebini, is a double star which yellow-hued primarily a magnitude of 2.8 and white-hued secondary magnitude of 8.2, located in south primarily. The two are separated by 4.8 arcseconds. Mu Draconis, traditionally called the Alarcus, is a binary star which, with 2 white components, a magnitude of 5.6 to 5.7. The 2 components orbit each other every 670 years. The Alcris system is 88 light years from Earth, and the U Draconis is similar binary star system with 2 white components, 100 light years from Earth. Both components are magnitude of 4.9 and can be distinguished in the smaller amateur telescope or a pair of binoculars. Omicron Draconis is a double star divisible and small telescope. That primarily is an orange giant, magnitude of 4.6, 322 light years from Earth. The secondary is a magnitude of PSI Draconis, traditionally called the Thebesian. Is a binary star divisible in its binoculars and small amateur telescope, 42 light years from Earth, and primarily is used in yellow-white star, magnitude of 4.6, secondary star 5.8. 16 Draconis and 17 Draconis are part of the triple star, 40 light years from Earth, visible in the medium-sized amateur telescopes, the primarily blue-white star of magnitude 5.1 is itself a binary with a components of magnitude of 5.4, 6.5. The secondary magnitude of 5.5 in the system of 400 light years away, 20 Draconis is binary system with a white-hued primarily magnitude of 7.1, yellow-hued secondary magnitude of 7.3, located east-northeast of the primary, the two separated by 1.2 acroseconds at their maximum have an orbit period. Oh no. G said, "My sweets, I was listening to interesting stuff, but I need to get going. My daughter wants me to spend some time with her. Have a wonderful night, guys. See you all over the weekend at some point." Okay, G, thank you. Y'all have a great weekend and have fun tomorrow. All right. Hello, Overtime. It's good to see you. We're getting close to the end of the show, but I'm glad that you're able to hang out. So, Overtime, we were talking about the. You're welcome, G. We're talking about the situation with Bryan Kohberger earlier, where he's likely an incel, and he was part of a community of incels, and he likely was trying to imitate the Elliot Roger murder incident. We were talking about some alien theories, and now what we're doing is talking about different constellations as we're getting close to the end of the show. Oh, you had work today. Okay. And Overtime, I hope that you are doing well, and I hope your work went well today with whatever you're up to. Thank you. Because I see this constellation where it's the dragon star, it's the dragon constellation, and called Draco. And Draco, it's like that. That's Draco. Yeah, so it's a very cool constellation. R Draconis is a red Mira type variable star with a period of about 8 months and average maximum magnitude. It's approximately 12.4, and its average or maximum magnitude is approximately 7.6. It was discovered by the variable star by Hans Gelmudian in 1876. Oh, Overtime. I'm sure it was very tedious. I'm sure you're worn out, but we're glad to have you here with us. Yeah, man. Yeah, family sometimes it can be like that. Yeah, definitely. The constellation contains a star recently named the Kepler-10, which has been confirmed to be orbited of Kepler 10b. Overtime says it's so humid and hot out today, pulling weeds and tree up in the sun. Oh yeah, that can be very tedious. You know, where I am, it's very humid and hot, and yeah, it can be tedious doing that because I've done the grass and garden work and stuff, and yeah, it can be very tedious, especially if people are being disagreeable. And you're welcome. You're welcome, bro. Deep sky objects. One of the deep sky objects in Draco is the Cat's Eye Nebula. This is a beautiful object, by the way. It's gorgeous. A planetary nebula approximately 3,000 light years away. It was discovered in English astronomer William Herschel in 1786. It is the ninth magnitude. It was named for its appearance in the Hubble Space Telescope, though it appears as a fuzzy blue-green disk, an amateur telescope. The NGC 6543 has very complex shape due to the gravitational interactions between the components of the multiple stars as the center of the progenitor of nebula approximately 1,000 light years away. Oh, the nebulas are real celestial objects in space, but they also can be drawn by people. It is located at 9.6 Arca Mintus, northern ecliptical pole. The northwest is related to the IC 4677, the nebula that appears as a bar of 1.8 Acromutus is west of Cat's Eye Nebula, and long-term exposure to IC 4677 appears in a portion of the ring surrounding the planetary nebula. Oh yeah, now I'm going to show you all the Cat's Eye Nebula. Yeah, that's true. There's allegedly a shadow moon that we can't see called Lilith, according to the Jewish mythology, and that's allegedly a moon that exists along with our moon, but we can't see it allegedly. But yeah, the sun certainly is another topic to talk about. I love the moon. Look at this beautiful thing. Yeah, I've also seen some theories that the stars are part of some of the Watcher angels, the ones that we've talked about before. That's them. Because an angel sometimes is a ball of light with wheels within wheels. I took a picture of a star very close, and I zoomed in, and it looks like the biblical Ophium. It's a wheel within a wheel. Like, for instance, you see this thing, and let's see the wheels within wheels. Alright, so these angels, like right here. It looks kind of similar to this thing. You see, it's like a wheel within wheel. But this is not a picture that I took, but I took another picture of a star, and it looked very similar to the wheels within wheels. Right. You see, like these things. Right. Right over time, exactly. So this is the Cat's Eye Nebula. All right. William Herschel in 1786. Its ninth magnitude was named in appearance to the Hubble Space Telescope, though it appears as a fuzzy blue-green disk. The amateur telescope in NGC has a very complex shape due to gravitational interactions between the components of the multi-star as its center progenitor in a nebula approximately 1,000 years ago. It is located in the Archimedes way of the north ecliptic pole. In the westwood, it's also related to the IC 4677, a nebula that appears as a bar 18.8 Archimedes to the west of the Cat's Eye Nebula, and long-term exposures to IC 4677 appears as a portion of the ring surrounding the planetary nebula. Do you think our egos make us lonely, since in reality everything is connected? That's a good question. I think that it depends on the circumstances, but I think that if somebody has an ego, it could possibly push other people away, because I do believe everything's connected and everything could cause a chain reaction. It could be other factors too, but I do think that it is possible that could make somebody lonely because you want to rely on yourself, but I think that nothing great can happen without a team of people working together. So I think that could be a possibility of pushing people away, but it could be also other factors as well that can contribute to it. There are exceptions to the rule. Oh, DJ, people were here earlier, but it's very late, so a lot of people went to bed, or had to do other things. So we have Bob here and some lurkers, but that's about it for right now. there are several faint galaxies in Draco, one of which is the Electrical Leor galaxy NGC 5866, sometimes considered to be Measure Object 102, and bears the name of the small group that also includes the spiral galaxies of NGC and 5879, NGC 5907. Another is the Draco Dwarf Galaxy, one of the least luminous galaxies with absolute magnitude and 8.6 and a diameter of only about 3,500 light years. Yeah, lonely in the chat too. Only me here. Yeah. For now, that is how it is for now. Yeah. But over time, you're fine though. You always are great with the chat and interacting with the different people here. So I appreciate you very much. You know, I think you're fine. And discovered by Albert G. Wilson and Lowell Observatory. And you have to also remember that the dots will connect in the future. Like, some things may not make sense in the moment. We got to remember that everything kind of falls into place later. Yeah, over time, I know it does seem like far-fetched. I've heard theories about that. You know, I do sometimes wonder if they're closer than they're saying, because we see them. I've heard about that theory too over time. Yeah, Bill Nye, the science guy, spy. Hello, Mary Toodles. Good to see you. Another dwarf galaxy found in the constellation Draco also features several interacting galaxies and galaxy clusters. Well, that's good, Mary. One such massive cluster is the Able 2218, located at a distance of 3 billion light years, and acts as a gravitational lens for even more distant backgrounds and galaxy, allowing astronomers to study those galaxies as well as the Able of 2218 itself. More than specifically, the lens of the affected allows astronomers to confirm the cluster masses as determined by X-ray emissions. One of the most well-known interacting galaxies is ARP 118. 188. Over time, in my opinion, I do think that it's possibly real, yes. I do believe the theory that it's possible. Named for the appearance, which features a tail of stars 280,000 light years long, and the Tadpole Galaxy is a distance of 420 million light years. The tail of stars drawn to the Tadpole Galaxy appears to be blue, of a gravitational interaction with the clouds of gas. Over time, I think that especially when we're dreaming, we could go to some other realm. And I do think there are people out there that are able to do that, or have that happen to them. Our souls do stay in our body, but some people may have an ability, or when we're dreaming, we could see other areas or other places. I think it's possible. Yeah. Is a quasar, okay, Q is a quasar that holds the distinction between the most distant objects and usually visible to an amateur telescope of magnitude 14.4. It appears a star-like, though its distance of 12.9 billion light years. The light has about 8.6 billion years to reach Earth, as a discrepancy attributable to the expansion of the universe. Yeah, over time, I've heard of that. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, possibly the largest known structure in the universe, covers a part of the southern region of Draco. Draco is also the serpent, is one of the 48 constellations of the Ptolemies adapted from the Exodus Syndius. Draco was identified with several different dragons in Greek mythology: Gaius Julius Hyginus. De Astronomica reports that one of the Gigians who battled the Olympian gods for 10 years, the Gigian Amachi, before the goddess Athena killed and tossed it into the sky, is defeated. Athena threw the dragon, it became twisted on itself and froze that a cold celestial pull before it could right itself. Alesius Astrides names himself Aster or Astrius, says that Athens' great Panathenia festival celebrated the Athenian victory over time. DJ said, lucid dreaming is cool. I wonder if spiritual masters awake from this reality, as it's a dream, then can levitate and walk or do a Reiki healing. I have done lucid dreaming before. Overtime says the ancestors said this was really a dream, hence the Matrix concept. Yeah, I've heard about the Matrix concept, and I do believe the Matrix, is a thing. And a lot of people need to break away from, the bad Matrix. Yeah. So, yeah, that's another interesting concept too. The northern celestial pull before it could right itself. Alesius Astrides, named Aster or Astrius, says the Athens great Pantheonia festival celebrated the Athenians' victory over him. The festivals coincided with the cumulation of the constellations head as seen from the Athenian Archopolis. The womb is called the Matrix portal, the ancestor said. I didn't know that. Thank you for the information. All right. The Castor Amesi attributed the Etros identifies as Draco as Landon, the dragon who guarded the golden apples of Hesperides, and Hercules, who tasked with the stealing of the golden apples during the 12 labors. He deleted Landon, Hera, and transformed Landon into a constellation in the sky. Hercules is depicted with 1 foot in the head of Draco, and sometimes Draco is represented as a monstrous son of Gaia, a typhoon. Some monks can focus lucid dreaming and make them as long or short as they want. Like, that reminds me of Inception. Ever had a dream where hours or days went by? It's only been a few hours or a nap. Yes, over time I have had dreams like that. Yes. Also, what I did was I've had dreams, lucid dreams, and it reminds me of Inception, where, implanting an idea in someone's head and then using that in a dream to manipulate an outcome. Yeah, so that's, and also I've had a dream within a dream before, like Inception. So it's like there's like a dream, then they go to sleep, go into another dream, and there's different layers of the dream. Yeah, over time it is wild stuff indeed. Yes. Traditional Arabic astronomy does not depict a dragon in modern day, which is called the mother of camels. Instead, the 2 hyenas represented by Eta Draconis and Zeta Draconis are seen attacking a baby camel. A dim star and near Beta Draconis is which projected by our female camels, represented by Beta Draconis, Gamma Draconis, Nu Draconis. She Draconis is nomads who own the camels are camped nearby, represented by a cooking tripod composed of Eupolis and Tayu. That looks like Timu. Sigma Draconis, however, in Arabic astronomy known as the Greek interpretation of the constellation, referring to Arabic Atenian, which is a source of formal name of Gamma Draconis, Eltian, which is head of the dragon. All right, this is a depiction of Draco. And there's the polar bear like they talk about at the nature center. You have that, all right. Yeah, so that's a very cool picture of it. I like the polar bear. It's a cool effect. Okay. All right. Overtime says so the monks go to sleep with a dream and meditate to higher levels, visiting realms so that are depicted in the majestic Indian art we have seen in similar realms are visited on a Wusika. Okay, thank you for the information. I didn't know about that. And I do believe in the meditation and that stuff is is real and legitimate, definitely. And I do believe they're able to achieve those different realms that way because when you're sleeping, you're in a different state. So it's said that if you meet yourself in a dream within the dream, you shake hands or bumps into yourself, you will merge into one. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Thank you for that information. I've never known that. Wow, I read through the whole article. Good grief. And they have the meteor showers, the October Draconids, also called the Gaiocobids, is a meteor shower associated with the periodic comments of 21P Gaiobini Zinner. Right, the shower peaks on 8 October.
Okay.
It has experienced storms in 1933 to 1946 when the Zetial hourly rate, which was up to 10,000 meters per hour, further outbursts were observed in 1985 and 2011 during the 2011 outburst of ZHR reached the 400 meters hours. However, it was greatly unnoticed, usually due to interference by the bright moon. Mary says the dream talk reminds her of Nightmare on Elm Street. Over time, yeah, that would be nice if we're able to do that. And there's people that do meditation and stuff that could be achieved, but I think the technology, the physical technology, isn't really there yet to do those things. But one day, I believe we'll be able to do that one day. The February ETA Draconids is a meteor shower that was discovered in February 4, 2011. Observers noted that six meteors with common radiant in short period is parents is previously unknown long period comet. Nightmare on Alien Street. Scared. Scared. That was a good movie, but it was a scary movie, but it was a good movie. The main character in 1996, Drake Coneheart, gets its name from this constellation. The film also reveals that Draco is actually a dragon heaven where dragons go when their time in this world is complete. If they have upheld the oath of the ancient dragon to guard mankind, with dragons otherwise fading into nothing upon their deaths. In conclusion of the film, the Draco, the last dragon, ascends into the constellation. Alright. Draco Malfoy's an antagonist in Harry Potter series is named of the constellation as well. Dragon Variation Silicon Defense Chess opening was also named after constellation by Russian chess master Freudu Chemosky. Alright, so okay, we have reached the end of the show. Alright. Alright, so I want to there are so many different beliefs and thoughts about dreams. It's very interesting, Mary, to see different thoughts and the different people's perspectives about it is. And I'm learning new things every day from different people, and I'm glad that I've been blessed with a nice group of people in this chat. Gosh, people love a great tale of dragons and stars and bears. Oh my, yes, and I think it's very enchanting, and I like it very much. And people in general like them. Yeah, it's quite an incredible epic. All right, so I want to thank everybody for let's see. Overtime says, and we spend half of life dreaming. Yes, I've heard about that. We spend half our time dreaming. Yeah, I wonder what that other realm is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dragons are very cool. Yeah, shout out to the dragons. And like King Arthur and stuff like that. They have a lot of dragons in those stories. On a star in space, it's easy to forget we are on a planet. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we just forget where we are and forget, but we get humbled when we see the stars and these different things and remind us, we're a dot, a little tiny dot in a vast sea of celestial bodies. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes we forget, but it's good to see the stars to remember who we are. Like the Lion King. All right, all right. So I want to thank everybody for coming here, and I hope everybody has a great weekend and a good evening. And thank you all for coming to this stream. We had a very great time, and peace. I have to do this a couple of times to get it right. Okay, let's see.